Raymond, great fucking day for you, brother.
Oh, Raymond actually gave me the whole breakdown of the Raymond, and then it's like,
ciao, Raymond.
imagine. I don't got too much to say. Listen, what I do have to say is welcome back to the Don't Blend In. What are we gonna call it?
Well, this is the podcast itself. So, Don't Blend In podcast.
Your host Derrick, co-host
Tomas, we're here.
We are here.
Do you want me to explain what we were just discussing right there? Let me get comfortable.
Guys, we're hitting a little pivot.
Yeah.
We're putting our foot in the ground. We're digging our heel, and we're just turning the toe a little bit, just a little bit, guys.
Well, yeah, I think we're still going in the same direction. We're 100%. Just opening up more paths for ourselves.
Yeah. What we're referring to, guys, is we were talking, and we think of this channel more of exactly that, like a channel, brand, universe, right? Artistic. What's the word? Avenue, right?
Yeah.
That we use to just get knowledge out, get knowledge in, get content out. Right?
It's more like create content together.
Yeah.
We use this more as like a brand for me and Derrick to create content together. And that's kind of, very important announcement in the news segment. We're pivoting a little bit. We're not going to be a podcast just anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is still going to be a show on the Don't Blend In channel. The podcast is still going to be the main draw,
Yeah.
We're going to still have weekly episodes every Friday, everything that you come to expect, right? But we are going to branch out. We are going to do special shows, special segments. Some special shows and segments you'll find on the Patreon. Other special shows and segments you might find on YouTube. The Spotify will be just for the podcast.
Yeah.
Our
people that just be listening in.
Yeah.
Wanted to hear the latest, whatever,
Also, our Instagram is kind of slowly turning into a newsletter. We dropped some news there too, so
we're putting stuff out, diversifying.
We've already diversified. We've already branched out a little bit away from being a podcast, but just so y'all know, this announcement doesn't mean that we're not going to be a podcast anymore. It's just
we're still pushing the content, guys. Yeah, we're still going to sit down every week. Yeah. Still going to talk about art, talk about the community, what's going on in the culture.
You might just see more art from this brand itself.
Yeah.
Instead of just seeing art from me and Derrick personally, and then you come here to see us discuss it, you might see some art based on the brand. You might see some Don't Blend In clothes.
Yeah.
You might see some Don't Blend In baking. It's actually quite accurate.
Chefing
it up. That's one of the shows we might do on our Patreon.
Yeah. Let us know what y'all think. We were just discussing it right before this.
Exactly.
Just a little,
spitballing ideas and stuff.
Little series we had in mind.
Yeah. You'll hear more about that when it's ready. But
I'm so excited.
I'm really excited too for that. But on more news segment stuff about the channel, Patreon, we've been doing it for like 2 weeks now. Don't Be Dumb album reaction, and now more recently, The Fall Off by J. Cole.
Peak. Classic, both of them. So good.
Jermaine Struggle Mule Cole.
All right.
He dropped the Fall Off for those that don't know, which is basically no one. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
And we reacted to it on the Patreon. Go check that out. It costs $6 to buy, but if you're interested in more of our content, you could pay $4 a month. It's cheaper. I would recommend the monthly subscription.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. Yeah. You get more content out of it. But if you really just want to watch one, like let's just say you're a J. Cole fan and you want to see what we think of J. Cole, but you don't give a fuck about Rocky, you don't give a fuck about any other shows you got coming out, you can just pay $6, one-time payment, get that episode.
Yeah. Or you just want to tap in just to the cooking special we got.
Just the cooking specials.
We're brewing.
Specials. We're cooking up.
Right? Yeah. Because, we got a lot of stuff. But
we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Patreon, guys. Man, I'm going to be honest, personally here, right? I was excited for Patreon now. I was in between whether the timing was right. But guys, listen. And this is not an advertisement. This is not me trying to promo. Personally, just me, right? And this may be just because we've been doing only music, and hip-hop. But I've been having so much fun with it. I think I like that we're doing it a lot. And I think
it feels so much more raw because I try my hardest not to edit. I feel like the only cut I've ever done was in the last episode. I cut when I took my hat off.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Because, I'm going to be dead honest with y'all. That episode was a weird day for me. The day before I showered in the morning, and then I didn't shower when I went to sleep. and Derrick showed up and woke me up for that episode.
Shook him out his bed.
Shook me out of my bed for that episode. So I literally was the most disgusting I've ever been in my life. I threw a hat on. I
And
threw
you looked
a hoodie
fine.
on.
I felt like you hit all that well.
Because I'm a cleanly guy. Like, dirty for me is not the same as dirty for most people. Like, I see some people and the way they live their lives, and I'm like, dog.
Yeah, I was gonna clean
That's
today.
awful. You know what I mean? But I just wasn't happy with how my hair looked that day, so I just threw a little cap on. But yeah, the Patreon, the reactions and stuff, we try and keep it raw on purpose because we don't want it to be a review. On this channel, reviews and reactions are going to be very, very different. Reviews are curated. Reviews are we're coming into it with an opinion and we're going to speak it, and we've done our research and we've sat down. Reactions are raw. Reactions are first time listening, first time seeing. We're there and you're going to get to see us in the moment. If we say something stupid in the moment, right there, boom.
That's what it was.
That's what it was, because there's no research, no going into it, and that's our first reaction. If I sit there and say, damn, I love this album, and then 5 months later I'm like, damn, I really regret saying I love that album, hey,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. But
Lived in the moment.
reviews are more curated, more, So that's why our reactions are always going to be unedited and stuff. That doesn't mean the Patreon's going to be unedited, because when we do specials, they're going to be nice, they're going to be professional, they're probably going to be the highest quality content you see from us. Because you're paying for it. You deserve highest quality content when you're paying for it. But also, you can join our Patreon for free. We will have posts. You can talk with us for free.
You can post on there?
I've made posts. This guy.
No, I went through, but I thought that was just like pictures.
No. We can post. So
and anyone can see that.
Anyone can see that.
That's
so I
sick.
make on the Patreon. Oh, I guess I kind of gave it away there. I make free posts on the Patreon where y'all can comment and let us know what you want to see on the Patreon, on the YouTube. Just you can talk to us on the Patreon for free.
I thought it was just uploading stuff.
No, and I would prefer it because IG message. People have been talking to us through IG messages.
Right.
And IG messages
that
aren't
makes sense.
amazing. I would prefer if y'all would message us on Patreon. But and
that also rids us of having like a Discord or anything. Like we don't have to have that.
Respectfully, fuck Discord. But I think that's all the real news around this brand and us. Do you want to get into like personal news? We have one worldwide news.
We do actually. Let's say that for the end.
Do you have any personal news you want to talk about?
I mean, speaking of music, I feel like every week is just music for me.
Baby Keem.
Yeah, man. Keem, Casino, the tour, the album's dropping. There's actually a lot of new music dropping. There's a festival that Tomas and I were actually just talking about.
I need to see my schedule.
I'm trying to see if Tomas can go, if I can go, because I don't even know if I can go yet. But
it's been a
cool
weird
festival here in Gainesville. Yeah. It's Alchemist, and he's got a whole bunch of. If you know anything about like the underground rap scene, in Alc's bubble, then you're probably gonna like a lot of the guys there. But I mean, aside from that, yeah, bro, Casino, Jack Harlow's dropping sometime.
Honestly,
I don't know.
Honestly, when it comes to this kind of stuff, man, I feel like so many people have been asking me to go to things recently. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've said no to basically everyone. Like my boy asked me to go to the state fair, and I was like,
I've never been to the fair.
Really? Me and my girl were in a commercial for the fair. I don't know if it aired or not, but like a camera, was like a big crew came up to us and like, yo, can y'all help us film this segment, whatever. And we had to I had to pretend to throw a beanbag and win something for her. They didn't actually want me to throw the beanbag at the thing. They wanted me to throw over the thing because it looked better on camera.
Right.
It was really cool, but I don't know if that ever aired or anything. Whatever. I don't even know. They go and they find me like 2 years ago without the facial hair, ugly as hell, just like, but. No, I've been to the fair a few times. My boy invited me, and I was like, damn, bro. I don't think I could go because he said, yo, can we go in like a week? Fuck, my schedule was cooked. What do you mean a week?
Yeah, I think it's done next Monday. Yeah,
so also my boy invited me to another concert fair thing, whatever. I don't even know what that was. I think it was a tour. Oh, the Rocky. Rocky tour. Yeah, that's what it was. And I still haven't gotten back to him. I need to figure out whether or not I can go. It's just so much, man. I got so much going on in my life.
Y'all would be probably sitting next to me.
I guess.
No, I'm saying because he texted me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, he was like, yo, where are you sitting?
I need to see, man, because like Rocky, I love Rocky. I'd love to go see Rocky, but like, dude, my schedule is so cooked. I feel like every day I'm either working at my job or I'm working on this podcast or I'm writing for this project that I want to make in the future. A lot of stuff. Yeah, bro. I've pushed a lot of my YouTube stuff back because I want to really focus on the film stuff.
Okay.
Which is kind of, It's sad, but it's also like,
Is the
man,
episode is the one video still dropping?
yeah, but it's kind of like pretty much on the back burner right now because
Okay.
I've been trying to find it. I want to do a movie or like a series or something on a channel. Y'all might not even know it's me. It might be kind of hidden that it's me. And I want to do that within the next year or so. So
Okay.
I've really been talking to some people. I've reached out to a few people. You know who you are because I've reached out to you. That kind of stuff. But aside from that, more personal news. I bought a jacket from Badson, y'all. Check it out.
Looks real. Looks real.
I'm not gonna lie to you. First 1 day review of this jacket. I think it's my favorite jacket I own.
It's funny because when I got my Bad Son red jacket, immediately I was like, "Yeah, this is my favorite one."
Yeah,
Immediately,
like it fits very
they
well.
really just don't miss.
It really comes down to first of all, it has padded shoulders, and I can't feel the padded shoulders.
Right?
Like, I can't-
but it looks so good.
I can't tell the shoulders are. You can't tell. Like, I can't tell the shoulders are padded until I hit one of these
Yeah.
because you don't feel it. It's really comfortable, and it's cropped beautifully. It fits me perfectly. It's actually really warm. It's awesome, bro.
It's Bad Son.
This is simply the best jacket
Bad
I
Son.
own. It dethroned my House of Airs and my Unveined Zip Up as like my two favorites.
Yeah.
This is the favorite now. This is the go. Yeah, I also got the core pants. I got those.
Or
on
with the
right
Kid
now.
Super one as well.
Oh, see, that one is where it starts to get techie.
The Dino.
I actually have an outfit that I wore not recently, but I planned to wear. I wore it in my room to see if it with the Dino jacket over this jacket. It gets real cold.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see that whole situation, man. I got a little comfortable little scarf on too, for those who know. But yeah, man, that's all my news for today. You want to get into the real big news that we can segue
do
into the
it, bro.
episode with?
Let's do it.
All right, the Super Bowl,
my
the Benito Bowl.
The Benito Bowl.
The Benito Bowl happened.
So good.
First, we got to comment on the game. Probably the worst football game I've seen in my life.
I didn't watch it.
Big Benito, Big Bad Bunny walked more. He ran more yards than the entire fucking Patriots team. So
Yeah.
shout out to have more touchdowns than the Patriot team. No, the Patriots were awful, and I'm so glad. Fuck the Patriots. Big up the Seahawks. I don't like the NFL. I don't like football that much. But one of my close homeboy who watches football is a Seahawks fan. So shout out our boy Raymond. Great fucking day for you, brother.
Oh yeah, he was watching it while we were playing the game.
Yeah, very happy for the Seahawks. Very happy for Raymond. Very happy for everyone involved. Now to the real important thing because the game didn't really fucking matter.
Facts.
Big Bad Bunny,
It was,
Benito.
it was just really just a concert, really.
That's really just a concert, the biggest concert that happened that day, the Super Bowl Bad Bunny concert. Let's really get into it. Let's really get into it when it comes to the news, and then we can get into it more later in the episode.
Okay.
Did you like it?
I loved it. It was great.
You loved it. What do you like about it? Because me and Derrick have not talked about it at all.
I got everything.
You got everything?
I got everything.
Because you speak Spanish? You understood everything?
No, it's because I'm Puerto Rican.
Well, to be fair, this brother did not do Puerto Rican specific things. I got everything too.
No,
Everyone
he
I know
did some
got-
things that were Puerto Rican specific.
like
Cane fields.
Caribbean has cane fields.
The hat.
Y'all are not the hat, yeah, but y'all are not the only people that have cane fields.
Who's the biggest?
No,
Boxer.
y'all are the.
No, I'm not saying biggest fields, but who's got the biggest boxers?
That's true. Y'all, well, now in the Big 26, y'all have the biggest boxers in the Caribbean. Historically speaking, it's not y'all.
But overall, yeah.
You want to talk about boxing legacy? It's Cuba.
Okay.
We have our own
Sure.
boxing style named after us.
Okay. I guess.
Yes, not okay. Factual.
guess. Not as nice, but I guess.
Boxing aficionados, get in the comments. Tell your boy over here. Cuba, historically speaking, is the biggest Latin American. Well, Mexico, and then Cuba are the biggest Latin American boxing
I guess,
people.
bro.
But in the Big 26, yeah, y'all got it, 100%.
But I mean, aside from that, bro, it was just great, bro. Everything was just great.
Very good representation for the Latin community. Also, the Balkan community. You know what I found out recently?
The what?
The Balkans, Eastern Europe. Those motherfuckers do the same shit we do. I'm so serious. They eat the same foods we do. They party
When you
the
said
same
Balkan,
way.
I just thought of the meme.
No, the
Balkan
Balkans.
Rage.
No, the Balkans is a region in Europe, Derrick.
I didn't know that.
So, in the Balkan people, your Serbians, your Slovakians, your Albanians, they live very similar to us. Like, they eat the same foods as us. They have the same kind of lifestyles as us. They're all very angry, third world countries, just like us. No, I'm so serious.
No. You just said angry. I was like, what?
We're angry too. Latino community. Come on, have you ever seen a Cuban talk?
I'm just not.
Have you seen me discuss with my parents? It's
Right.
literally just hands and screaming. But we're having a very civil conversation.
Yeah, makes my
We're,
groin hurt.
we're talking about the news and we're like, hey, I'm hablando, hijo de puta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
no,
my groin
we don't
hurt.
say mama huevo, by the way.
I love all
but-
my Hispanics and Latins, but man, some of the accents,
No, I
like the
think
Dominican accent, also just
I
gives
like
me
I am
gives
in
me
the
all types of
very very
AIDS.
small minority of Hispanics that I actually like all the accents.
Oh, there's some.
There's not a single one that I'm like, oh, I hate that. Like I think Mexicans sound very different from most Hispanics. They speak real slow.
Most people sound. I mean,
And I like how they sound, man. Puerto Ricans, y'all speak very fast.
everybody has their thing, but man, there's just some certain things within
Puerto
some
Ricans
certain
got like their own language.
like Dominicans don't pronounce certain things,
Yeah, Dominicans.
and it sounds like
I hate how Dominicans refer to food. Like most of their names for food is really bad. You know what I mean?
name one.
I'm not gonna name one.
I'm
That's diabolical. We don't gotta get into it.
about
But
to
like,
name one.
don't name one.
I have a take, bro.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. All I'm gonna say
You know
is
what Kong is, bro?
I know what concon is.
Bro, like,
Stop,
bro.
That,
Yo.
that is like actually like like a caveman came up with that.
I was thinking the same thing.
But
I
stop.
said the same thing. It's like actually gorilla.
Yo, stop
It's
playing.
gorilla.
Stop playing with our Dominican
Like
fans, bro.
my girlfriend's Dominican, guys.
Listen, I love the
I love
Dominicans.
Dominicans, but bro, that's like
Because
like just a sound
I
it
want to
makes.
push an agenda, and you're hurting my agenda here. Listen,
listen, bro. We gotta poke fun at our people,
We
bro.
gotta stand as a Caribbeans. We gotta stand together,
my God,
y'all.
that was hilarious,
We're
bro.
all like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now this take is really gonna piss people off, but you know what? Caribbeans, we're all one people, man. We're all one people. We got our differences. We got our like the way we say shit, the way we do shit. But at the end of the day, we're all one people, man. Like it's like the Latin community is all one people, right? But if you really want to get into the subsects of it, Caribbeans are all one people, man. We really got
Generally,
I mean, a really good example that I was discussing with Derrick the other day. Y'all's flag is inspired by the Cuban flag.
It's funny. Raymond actually
And
gave me the whole breakdown of the video
Yeah,
you sent
and-
me the night before you sent me
And
it.
I love talking about that because a lot of Cubans love to say Puerto Rico stole our flag. A lot of Puerto Ricans like to say, "Well, our flag is better." It's not about that. It's not stolen. It's not. It is inspired. It's supposed to be a thing of camaraderie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think that
Y'all's
was
homework. Y'all's history homework.
do y'all homework, and I think that is the epitome of what the Super Bowl was about. It was about Latin camaraderie, and bigger than that, American. And when I'm talking about American, I'm talking about the full continent. If you're from the United States continents, it is just the full camaraderie there. Because he also said, Guinea is not Latin. Guinea is what's called. They practice. It might not be Guinea. I might be talking out my ass here, but there is a South American country that's Hindu, for example. Canada is very much white, and he said them. The United States is majority white, and he said that it's more about American camaraderie and the continent / continents. Depends where you are. If you're from the United States and Canada, you learn that it's two continents. If you're from South America, they teach you that it's one continent. That's what I'm referring to there.
Yeah.
But it's really about American camaraderie and how we all need to come together. And the main thing about it is love is stronger than hate. So
That's what they say.
yeah, and I just want to discuss that a little bit there in the news segment because it's a good transition to what the episode is about. I think this whole love is bigger than hate is going to be Bad Bunny's legacy.
Okay.
I think this is his biggest moment, and I think this will define his legacy. This is a legacy episode, y'all. We're going to be talking about legacy and how your legacy and your art defines your legacy. That was a 20-minute intro segment. We're locked.
Bad Bunny's amazing. Listen, let me say this, man.
Do you want to open up with do you want to open the legacy episode talking about Bad Bunny and his
why
legacy?
not? Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
down. Let's go ahead.
Because when you look at a lot of the things, like, just within the Super Bowl, all the similarities that you were enunciating, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we all poke fun at each other, like, the whole boxing thing. It's like all that shit. And it's like
Your Spanish is stupid. No, your
yeah,
Spanish
so
is stupid.
Yeah, like we all poke fun at each other. But like at the end of the day, I say I like my boxers better. Tomas says he likes his boxers better. He says he likes how he says shit better. You know what I mean? So it's like, but you look at the thing. It's like at the end of the day, bro. You said like at my job, I had a situation one day, and this Hispanic man, he was talking to me. He was like, "Puerto Rican?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican." And he was like, I had an interaction with a Puerto Rican once when the guy first moved here. He was an older gentleman, and he's like, I had this Puerto Rican, and he lashed out at me. Again, older gentleman. And he's like, he lashed out at me, and he had this attitude and whatnot. And it's like, you associate so many things. The Super Bowl commercial, the whole the nails getting done. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like all that type of stuff, and especially here in America, also very rampant, right? All that within the culture, and a lot of these people. And I told him, I was like, yeah, man, Puerto Ricans be having a fucking attitude. You know what I mean? But so does everyone. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's one thing that I thought about when I was watching it. I was thinking about that. I was like, it's like this guy's a dickhead and this guy's a dickhead.
And it don't matter where he's from.
But we're all just homies at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like that you brought up the similarities because, like I said, you look at the boxing, you look at the kid being asleep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you have any memory of you doing that? Because I have a few examples of me doing that.
Yes.
The one
I
that comes to mind.
also just love like how Bad Bunny, because I've been listening and following Bad Bunny for a long time now, and seeing how he was the one to wake the kid up. And it's like, I mean, we're younger than him, you know, quite a bit younger than him. So it's like seeing him, like, to me, that was a moment where I was like, yo, he's grown so much. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's not that kid anymore.
Like the mannerisms as well that he had during the Super Bowl and how he's laying everything out. And it's like, that is how my family is. And like, I'm listening to it and I feel at home. I come to Tomas's crib and I feel at home. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, just some of the feelings that I was.
What language you talk to my family in Spanish? Huh? You speak in Spanish to my family. I've been to your crib. The food that y'all cook and y'all make for me is not that different from the food my mom makes.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just to lay out like some feelings that I had while I was watching it. You know what I mean?
You know, I remember when my aunt got married to my uncle, my aunt Raymond's uncle. Mm-hmm. I slept in them chairs, bro, and Raymond was the one that woke me up. So I have that memory. Raymond and his cousin woke me up, and I was like, y'all, bro, I'm tired. I don't want to be here.
Being there was really great.
It's always your parents got a party at the crib, or they take you to someone. It's always worse to take you to someone else's crib.
Yes.
And then you gotta like, you know what I used to do? You know how the kid had the chairs laid out?
Yeah.
I would not have the chairs laid out. What I would do is I would like, you know what? I'm not gonna reenact it on the podcast.
I think I know.
I would like crumble up and like hit one of these, and then I'd sleep on the chair. I used to do that. I would also like if I had two chairs, I wouldn't line them up. I would just like hit a side, which is funny because I did that on the plane to Japan.
Yeah.
And my girl thought it was hilarious, and she took a photo of me, and I was like, you don't know the legacy.
You don't know.
You don't know about how I used to sleep on them chairs when my parents wanted to go to their family friend's crib.
Yeah, so, bro, it's like those things that like you don't, and I mean here at least like. You go to your friend's crib and it's like you're in the crib and you're doing stuff. You know what I mean? Whereas like
you're not in the backyard with the fucking grill and all that shit.
Yeah, like in Puerto Rico, a lot of the houses they have I don't know what it's called in English, but it's kind of like an indoor patio.
Are you good at dominoes?
Huh?
Are you good at dominoes?
I'm pretty decent.
I'm pretty decent.
But you look at these places and it's like yo, you would go right up the block and it's like. In Puerto Rico, at least, right? You have the house and you have like an indoor patio, and it's fairly sized, right? It's like maybe 2 or 3 of these rooms, right? Depending on the house. Some of them it's like 4. And you throw a couple chairs on, and bro, you're just everyone's there. There was one year where my aunt's dog licked alcohol off the ground. He was sitting under a chair, sitting. He didn't lay down. He didn't stand up. Sitting under a chair for like 2 hours. He was drunk as.
I have a proposal for you. Do you want to push the legacy episode back? Because I think I can sit here for 2 hours and talk about some Hispanic culture. Derrick, this is our opportunity to push the culture.
We're going to. We're doing it right now.
Okay. I just want to throw that out there just in case you want to.
But like, I really do just want to like put these experiences out there. And also, guys, I'm kind of like, I mean, I probably could have said this in the intro, but like, how I see like this show and this whole thing is also like timestamps. You know what I'm saying? Like every week we get together and we talk about something.
So this is Bad Bunny. This is like Bad Bunny legacy is gonna be pushing the Latin American culture across the world.
It's like a moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like. We don't get to have that many of these moments. You know
we don't.
What I mean?
And I think as a community, right, as a people, we don't really have our culture spread as far as like other groups, other ethnicities. Yeah. Like I feel like Asians have had their moments in the past. The African American community have had their moments in the past. I can't really point at any moment in history and say that was our moment.
It's
now
more so
we have one.
Yeah, like culturally. Because like for example, like we have a Puerto Rican justice as one of the in the Supreme Court and stuff like that. But like that's really as far as I've seen. Yeah,
that doesn't really.
You know what I mean? It's like it's different between that and like having the whole nation.
You have a black person. It's like, do you think they're gonna say our moment was when we got our Supreme Justice? No,
you know what I mean?
They're gonna talk about things like hip hop artists doing the most. Michael, I think obviously controversial because he had his condition and stuff. Michael Jackson, bro. He was African American. He became the most famous human since Jesus Christ. Like genuinely, bro. He became the most famous human since Jesus, bro.
Yeah. First black billionaires, black, like all types of stuff.
And I've always seen that, and I'm always like, I love to see that because you see a people that before someone like Michael Jackson came along, before certain like jazz artists came along, they didn't have their moment, they didn't have anything,
Nope.
and then these artists came along, and now these artists 100 years later, like Jackie Robinson's legacy isn't he was a great baseball player. His legacy is he was a great baseball player and he paved the way for an entire group of people within sports. You know what I mean? And that is so much of a greater legacy than he was good at baseball. He was good at baseball and he did so much for his people.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be Bad Bunny's legacy when we're talking about Bad Bunny 30 years down the road, 40 years down the road, even after his death. It's not going to be he was the most famous artist in the world at one point. He was a great artist. He was a great artist and he pushed the line. He paved the way for Latin American artists to be global. Think about how many truly global Latin American artists we've had in the history.
Not many.
If any.
Yeah.
The ones that we've had, because you look at someone like a Pitbull. He don't represent Latin American culture. He don't represent Latin American culture. He represents that Miami culture.
Yeah, he's from Miami.
That's kind of different, you know what I mean? You look at someone like, I think the closest we got before Bad Bunny, and it's great because he actually brought him out, was Ricky Martin.
Yeah.
Ricky Martin was almost a global sensation, only speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
And you look at Shakira. Shakira, she speaks English.
Fair.
She doesn't.
She was up there. She's definitely up there.
She's up there, but she's not. You know. I saw someone talking about how like Shakira's bigger than like someone hating on Bad Bunny, and they're like, y'all already had a Hispanic and Shakira. And Shakira's bigger than Bad Bunny, and all the comments are like, what? All the comments just said was. Skull emoji. Yeah. Like, no.
When he was like bagging groceries.
Yeah, no, she was bigger than him for a while. When they performed together at the Super Bowl, she was bigger than him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think right now, and over the past 3 years, he's been bigger than she's ever been.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Shakira's crowning moment to me was the 2010 World Cup when she had the song. And that was like probably the biggest Latin American artist has ever been.
Yeah. I agree.
But
absolutely,
and you know, not to say because the World Cup is a much bigger tournament than the Super Bowl. Like,
much bigger stage.
Like, you want to be the Premier League is a bigger stage than the Super Bowl. Yeah. But dude, you know the last season's El Clásicos, it's like 4 games, did more viewers than the last like 10 Super Bowls combined. Yeah, so yeah, like football's just a disgustingly big sport. But Shakira didn't really push the culture with that song. She was pushing African culture, if anything.
Right.
She wasn't really pushing Latin American culture. To see someone at the level of Bad Bunny doing what he's doing and pushing our culture, our people, it means so much to me, and it means even much more to you because he's not just pushing. He's Boricuas. That's y'all, bro. He's pushing you.
See, that's something that I wanted to touch on because being the focal point of something isn't. And I like how you put it, like on one of our last episodes, like you're proud. Like there's this word pride. You know what I mean? And it carries like all types of definitions and all types of stuff. But when you look at something like being proud to be from somewhere, you know what I mean? Like we grew up here, and it's like, are you a proud Floridian? Well, what are we gonna look at to quantify this pride, right? But seeing Bad Bunny, right? And I mean this whole time, right? We had him, and then we have, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of artists, great Puerto Rican artists, right? That I like, you know what I mean? But you look at some of them, and even some of the growing ones now, Young Miko, she was there, right? And she had her breakout year last year or the year before. And I talk about it with other Hispanics, if not just Puerto Ricans, right? To be the focal point, right? Because
that means so much.
Yeah, right? It's different because it's also something that I've never experienced before, for obvious reasons, right? But it's weird because I sit here and I talk with Tomas and I talk to Raymond, and then it's like I speak to my family.
Raymond so much this episode, man. Shout out Raymond.
And I speak to my.
Shout out Raymond.
Imagine you just. Never mind. Actually, I got some really bad pictures of Raymond.
Send me some.
Oh my god!
I'll throw them up on screen, bro.
But I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't fully understood it just yet. You know what I mean? I haven't had time to sit down and really comprehend everything.
In 10 years, you're gonna be telling your kids, man, there was at one point there was a Puerto Rican. He was.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say like. He's putting on, bro. Like him putting on definitely means a lot. And it's like, especially with us, we're kind of like a hybrid of things. We're not like I'm not just Puerto Rican culture. Like we're not just Hispanic culture. You know, we tap into so much other shit.
I thought you meant like where you're from. Like yeah, I'm a hybrid.
No, all right.
You're like 100% Puerto Rican.
No, yeah. But like when you look at like our personalities and we tap into, it's like
I think
we're diverse with what we tap into.
Yeah,
so it's like
you're very tapped into like hip hop, all that kind of like.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
you
not to
can
be
call
like
it a
that,
bunch
but
of
like
ways. No, I know,
African American culture, like you tapped into
right.
your, you
But
know.
my point with that is that for me to be there, because I embrace it in different ways, right? Like I
Yeah.
go home and I talk a certain way. I didn't even know I sounded
Oh, your Spanish is
I didn't
so
know
Puerto
I
Rican.
sounded Puerto
Yeah,
Rican for
yeah, yeah.
years. I didn't know until
My
high
family
school.
talks about that, y'all.
Yeah,
Audience at home.
I
Like when
didn't.
Derrick comes over and talks to my family, like they'll be like, "Yeah, Derrick is one of the most Puerto Rican speaking people we know."
Yeah, so it's something that I've like not only grown accustomed to, but embraced and just been more proud of generally as I've gotten older. You know what I
My
mean?
Spanish is so like hybrid
It's in between.
nonsense.
It's
It's
definitely in
so
between.
wild. Like, okay, I have a really good one. I was talking to
Oh,
someone,
by the way, I don't even know if
and
they knew we spoke Spanish.
yeah, we both speak Spanish, but Derek's Spanish is very much Puerto Rican. He's from a Puerto Rican household. I have a very weird mix of Argentine and Cuban Spanish,
Yeah.
which is, and the reason why it's such a bad thing for me specifically is because they're two of the most different Spanishes you could
But it
have.
sounds dope.
Like,
I think
like
like I like
I
it. That
think
sounds
this
cool.
happened to me yesterday. I was talking with someone and I sent it to Raymond, I think it was, or it might not have even been Raymond. So I sent him a meme of making fun of how they teach Spanish in school in America, right?
Yeah.
And it was about how, like, the people in the video were like, "Oh, how do you say you don't have money in Spanish?" And the guy in the video said, "Estoy pelado." And then it was like, and she was like, "Incorrect. It's no
Yeah.
tengo dinero,"
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
people don't really say that. But then you
At
go into
all.
the comments, and the top comment said, "No tengo un mango." That's what I say. No tengo ni un mango.
See, I've never even heard that
That
shit.
literally means, it's literal translation for those of you who don't speak Spanish. I don't have any mangoes.
Yeah.
But that's what I say. When I don't have money, when I'm like, my parents are like, "Yo, can you like pay for this, pay for that?" I'm like, "Bro, no tengo ni un mango. I'm cooked. All right, I don't got niche to my name." And I'll tell them that, right? And then I saw in the comment, the top reply was literally, "That's yeah." That someone said, "I never heard of that," and someone replied to them being like, "That's how we say it in Buenos Aires."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Buenos Aires? I thought that was a Cuban saying." So then I went to my parents and I was like, "Is that not a Cuban saying?" And both my parents were like, "No, no one says that in Cuba. There's so many ways to say you don't have money in Cuba, and that
Yeah.
is not one of them. That is very much an Argentine saying." And I was like, "Yeah," and that's what trips me up sometimes because I'll talk with certain people, and like I'll talk with an Argentine and they'll be like, "Oh, you're Cuban." I'll talk with a Cuban and like, "Oh, you're not Cuban."
Yeah.
Because it's very, you know, I do have an accent though, 100% in Spanish. Like
Yeah.
I have a
100%.
Cuban accent. I have a Cuban accent, but I say a lot of Argentine phrases, and that trips people up.
Yeah. So
But
it's I don't know. It's just cool to be for like everyone to be put on
yeah, 100%.
because being put on
And do you think, to tie it into the episode, do you
right.
think that is the legacy Bad Bunny's gonna leave? And do you think that is a positive or negative legacy?
I'll start here with going into the background because we've got a couple artists. This isn't the Bad Bunny show.
Yeah.
We've got a couple artists that we're gonna
This
get into
is
their
the Benito
backgrounds.
Bowl over here,
Yeah,
yo. Come
yeah.
on.
But I will say, I've actually thought about that a lot.
Yeah.
When you go backwards to what Bad Bunny was making, I don't know if a lot of you have listened to his older stuff. He was a trap artist, and I'm not even a huge trap fan generally, even within hip hop. But excuse me, Puerto Rican rap and reggaeton and all that type of stuff, I do like, and that's what I grew up listening to Bad Bunny on. And then he started transforming and transitioning, and I love what he's done. I love it. I love every single album that he's ever dropped. So I started switching my mind frame. There we go. On what Bad Bunny represents, right? Because it's changed. It's changed drastically.
Do you think, from what I've seen, he went from representing the Hispanic and specifically Puerto Rican youth? He's
Yeah.
very much a guy that, like, old Hispanics didn't fuck with Bad Bunny. Not at all.
None of our. No.
I think even
my
up to-
grandparents'
'cause
parents do not like him.
when I found out, wow, bro, my mind is lost. I did not hear you say grandpa.
I said grandparents.
I heard something. Dude, don't worry about it, dog. But no, I remember my dad used to think that fucking this dude stinks, and my mom used to think this dude stinks. And
Yeah.
like when I found out about
dad
him,
was talking
I
my
found
dad.
out when he dropped the album Un Verano Sin Ti, and that's when that was like 2022, I think.
22. Yeah.
Sophomore year of high school. That's when I found out about him.
23.
I remember it was sophomore year though, 100%. And that's when I really tapped in with his music, and I was like, oh, fuck with this. It's kind of tough. And my parents did not like that at all. They were like, this guy's awful.
It's one of his strongest
Let me
projects.
put you on to like all these other guys, these like older guys. And nowadays, you look at his most recent album, Debí Tirar Más Fotos. All the older Hispanics love him now, bro. Like I literally saw a video of like a 90-year-old grandma talk about something.
Yeah. Yeah, because he started tapping into like other other types of Hispanic music. So
But it's
what?
specifically because of what you were saying, his shift in
Yeah,
he
yeah.
went from being viewed as a representation of the youth and the youth trying to differentiate from these older generations of Hispanic artists. And now he just represents the Hispanic community trying to get from underneath the boot of like colonialism and
Yeah,
imperialism and all
because
that
he
kind of
could have
stuff.
very easily transitioned and or not transitioned as drastically, but stayed in his own lane generally and turned into like I mean, dude, there's a ton guys. I don't know if y'all know these guys, but like there's guys. Uh, what's his fucking name? It's one of my favorites, bro. Oh my god, hold on. I'm gonna
All right. Well, while he's looking it up,
look at
I'll
him
just say I
because I have
think
a whole bunch of other names, but I want to say this guy
I
specifically
think Bad
first.
Bunny's legacy, in the way it's moved and shifted over into being a representation of the
I'm
community,
angry.
I think it's great, and I think this is what he's going to be remembered for. And
I was about to say a bad word.
I'll let you say that first, and then I'll finish up with the Bad Bunny segment because I have one very big thing to end with. So
I was about to say a very bad word, but
you can say it. You
anyways,
can say it.
bro, when no, it was like one of the cancelable words.
Oh,
Yeah. But anyways, like he could have stayed in his lane and turned into like not turned into because there's a guy named Eladio Carrion. He's younger than Bad Bunny, but he's trap rapper. Then there's the older guys, Ñengo Flow, older, Arcangel, older. All these guys and they're all rappers, like hardcore, like rappers, bro. Like you know what I'm saying, like you get a hip hop beat, you throw it at them, they're spitting over it. But I think as he transitioned away from those guys, and he's done a ton of songs with those guys, right?
while you're saying that,
As he started making music with like J Balvin, and then turned into his own type of dealio, I think his legacy is definitely gonna be more of like that global eyeball on the top, just being like, this is us. And I want y'all to recognize
all
us.
right. Let
And I
me.
want y'all to appreciate us. And I want y'all to realize that you and us are still us. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
exactly what he was doing with the Super Bowl.
On
You
the
know,
topic,
everybody is
on
a
the
person
topic
and we're
of
all one
Hispanic
people.
artists and Hispanic just in general, let me put you on to something that you're 100% knowledgeable about, but I have some knowledge about them that I don't think you know.
Okay.
You know Bizarrap. Everyone knows
Yes.
Bizarrap.
Yes. Yes.
Let me put y'all on who aren't Hispanic. If you want to learn more Hispanic artists and young artists, Bizarrap will have them on his channel where they'll be spinning bars and they'll be spinning. Do you know where Bizarrap is from? One
No.
guess. One guess. Go ahead.
Colombia.
Buenos Aires, Argentina, where I'm born.
W fucking Riz.
Let me just show you. I want to show you his little YouTube channel right here. Producer, Buenos Aires, Argentina. He is from my hometown.
That's fire.
So yeah, and Bizarrap puts on a lot of artists. Obviously, he's had like very famously, he had Shakira on where she dissed PK. My Barcelona boy. Don't ever, Shakira, don't ever go after my boy like that.
Yeah, that was insane.
And like,
That was
listen.
the backlash.
It's hilarious. You know what the funniest part is? I'm I want to be with PK so bad on this. He did cheat on her, and it's his fault. He is awful.
It happens.
But like, you know what I mean? She wasn't out here defending the Barcelona net like this dude was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's facts.
As a, is that you or is that me? As you?
Not as me, as me.
As a real Barcelona boy out here, I got one thing to say. Listen, cheating is bad, but if you're a Barcelona player, I gotta be on your side, man. I can't even lie to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
it's
moving
facts.
aside from that, you know, if you're an American, if you're a Canadian, if you're a fucking German, whatever you are, if you're not a Hispanic and you really want to tap into the culture, you heard Bad Bunny singing, you're like, I fuck with this heavy. Go check out Bizarrap, and you will find, you will discover a billion new artists that are making some beautiful ass shit. So go check out Bizarrap. And I want to end the Bad Bunny segment, the Latin American segment, all of it by saying one thing, man. Again, this is a legacy episode. I'm going to talk about legacy. And the way I see it, right, Bad Bunny representing the Latin American community is not only going to end up leaving him with one of the biggest and most important legacies to the Latin American community.
Facts.
But in the worldwide and general sphere, he is going to be remembered in the light of people like Michael Jackson. I think he is Latin American Michael Jackson. I was having that conversation with my boy. I was having a conversation with my boy. I'm not going to say who he is, but he low-key had a take. He was like, bro, you're stupid comparing Bad Bunny to Michael Jackson. It'll never be the same. It'll be like no one knows what he's saying. And I was like, well, that's where you're wrong because so many people speak Spanish worldwide. A lot of people know what he's saying.
Everyone.
And just for an example, my parents growing up listened to Michael Jackson and they didn't know what he was saying.
He's my grandmother's favorite artist of all time.
Does she have any fucking clue what he's saying?
Well, now.
But before, did she have any fucking clue what he was saying?
No.
And she loved this shit. So honestly, if that's your genuine take, no one knows what he's saying. You're stupid.
Not valid. Yeah,
That's not valid.
It's not a valid point
But-
whatsoever.
And I'm going to end it by saying Bad Bunny is going to have one of the most positive and well respected legacies when it comes to music artists 50, 20 years, 30 years down the line.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get into someone that has a horrible legacy.
Okay.
Now that we,
I think I know exactly where we're going with this.
exactly where we're going with
Yeah.
this. Now that we had a great legacy, someone who put out for the culture, someone that represented his culture so well, let's talk about someone that takes a fast steaming shit on his culture. Kanye West.
Yeah.
My favorite
Yeah.
artist of all time.
Yeah, I feel for you, bro. Genuinely.
No, genuinely. Oh, he's not my favorite artist. He's my favorite rapper of all time. I think my favorite artist
yeah.
of all time is Gorillaz.
That yeah. I wanted to guess, but
It's probably Gorillaz. I've heard every Gorillaz song that's ever been. To be fair, I've heard every Kanye song that's ever made. But like Gorillaz, I'm a huge Gorillaz guy. But I think their legacy, we don't got to talk about it too much because they're still building a legacy out there. 20 years down the line. Very important though. Kanye. Kanye is what I like to call what I like to point attention to with this whole episode. You could do so much throughout your career, so many great and beautiful things, and then 2 to 3 bad years could really shit 30 years of greatness down the drain.
yeah.
Like Kanye, but Kanye's a very extreme case where someone could do something cancelable once, right? And they might be able to survive and move past it, it's fine. But Kanye has just done so much. And the fact that he's done so much against his own community, it's really what puts a dent in everything. Because let's just say Kanye does a lot of bad things and it doesn't affect the African American community that much, right? He's always going to have that legacy, at least, of, sure, he was an awful guy, but at least he really put out for his people. At least he really helped Chicago. At least he really helped black people in America. At least he really... But he doesn't have that legacy because he didn't really help black people in America. He put them down at every turn. I personally, and you should never forget, when he said that slavery was a choice. We should never forget that. That is an insane take.
It's hard, yeah.
So in the reverse of Bad Bunny, where he's putting on for his people and he's really building this legacy of representing his culture and all that kind of stuff, Kanye West has made amazing music and he's shit his legacy away by just continuously spewing hate against Jews, hate against blacks, hate against every group that you can imagine. He's fucking hated on them and he's put them down and he's like...
And there's no why.
And there's no... The closest thing you have
why.
to a
he
why...
gives no clarity on anything.
The closest thing you could have to a why is like, he's bipolar.
Yeah.
And even that, like, as a Kanye fan, I've really, like... I'll be honest, I've clung on to that a lot recently. Like, he is bipolar, and he showed his brain scans. His brain is fucked.
It just takes more than that to agree with some of these ideologies.
It's not even about that for me. It's, sure, he could be bipolar and all that stuff, but, like, his legacy's still in the shitter, even if...
I mean, to be fair, and I want to make this clear, right, for the context of the episode as a whole, guys, that goes with life in general. Like if I ask you guys, right, when y'all are 60, and I ask you what are the top 10 greatest things or top 5 greatest things anyone's ever done for you, it's going to be a hell of a lot more difficult than if I asked you what are the top 10 most negative things or meanest or rudest or fucked up things.
But that's the point with Kanye, though.
It's no, that's what I'm saying. But it's I'm trying to make a point that it's hard to keep a great legacy.
But that's the whole point of me bringing up Kanye. I love that you say it like that.
He's very extreme, though.
Kanye has done, but the thing is, like, even so, Kanye has done more positive than negative in his career. Like, he literally, you could say he spread a lot of negativity, done all that. He spawned an entire generation of artists.
And I mean, no, but even aside from that, his music itself,
dude, yeah, no,
did amazing things for so many people.
Yeah, but your music being great can only take you so far, legacy wise. When you compare it to people like Kanye, who spawned an entire generation of sound, and now it's not just his music; it's also anything that these guys that came up in the 2010s, anything they drop, is now automatically attached to Kanye's legacy. Yeah. Anytime Cardi drops, anytime Uzi drops, anytime like Juice WRLD was dropping, anytime X was dropping, these guys that came up in the 2010s, Kanye was there, bro. Kanye was involved. Kanye spawned the sound.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most influential of all time.
And yet, in 30, 40 years, anytime you bring up Kanye, you're immediately going to be followed with, wasn't that guy like a Nazi or something?
You're going to catch a smug face.
Because,
yeah, 100%.
Because doing these negative things will always bring your legacy down. And I say that to say, hey, when you're building your... Because this whole episode is kind of us discussing certain artists, discussing ourselves to help you guys at home as artists while you're doing your career, while you're making your moves, make the right moves and trying to avoid to make the wrong moves. So in 20 years, 30 years, you, or if you don't care about yourself, your brand, your art will be remembered in a certain way. Another really good example in the
Also,
vein,
you're just happy with it.
true,
You're
yeah,
proud to be able
and
to
also
stand
very
behind
important,
that.
your family too. Your
Yeah.
family could say like, North is always going to catch a little bit of strays too because Orange isn't your dad like this, that, and third,
Yeah.
and it's unfair to North, obviously. Also, her mom isn't this, that, and the third, but
Right.
it's unfair to her because she didn't choose her
Yeah, she
mom.
wasn't part of any of that.
She wasn't part of anything, bro.
Yeah.
She's barely unconscious right now.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And
She's 12.
She's 12. Like does she deserve any
She's
of the
barely
hate?
a middle
And
schooler,
she's
dog.
gonna get hate for the rest of her life, based on what her parents do, and,
Yeah.
and that's kind of ridiculous. So I always say that I'm using Kanye as an example to teach y'all, hey, you can do all these great things, but you do a few negative things, and that's always going to be attached to you.
Yeah.
Another good example in that
And
vein,
it takes way less negative
Yeah.
than positive to make a difference.
another good example in that vein is Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol is a good example because Kanye is still happening. Andy Warhol, that's done.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Warhol was very influential. He's the guy who made the Campbell soup cans, like the little
The what?
the soup cans. Like he would do.
I think if I've seen them, probably.
Yeah, but I'll pull something up while I'm talking. But yeah, Andy Warhol, he did a lot. He is probably one of the most famous artists of the 20th century.
Okay.
He is him, bro. But nowadays, he has quite a controversial legacy.
Really?
Yeah, this is him.
I've heard the name, but...
The Marilyn Monroe,
Oh, okay.
soup cans.
Yeah, legendary.
But I could go right here, down here, and like Andy Warhol, and then I could just put C, and it's gonna be like controversy. Yeah, controversy.
Damn.
That quick.
Didn't waste no time.
Yeah, because he had a bunch of controversies based around generally just being an unlikable person,
Okay.
being a douchebag. I think it was like stealing art from other people, allegedly. This is very alleged. I'm not super tapped. I haven't studied Andy Warhol since it's been 2 years since I've really tapped into what he's up to. Or not what he's up to, what he did. And he has quite a controversial legacy. There's a lot of people that you talk to him and like, yeah, fuck Andy Warhol.
Wow.
And he was so influential. And still, it's fuck Andy Warhol when you bring him up a lot of times. And again, a lot of the stuff that he did that was bad didn't really involve his art. At least I don't remember it involving his art. It was just who he was as a person. And it destroyed him the same way that Kanye, most of Kanye's shit.
Not the same way that Kanye. You said it doesn't involve his art.
Kanye's barely involved his art. Kanye dropped 5 songs that were like, oh,
Nah, bro,
and then he deleted them, and they weren't even ever.
He did a whole tape with King Combs,
and they were never even on his official page, and they were not
No, King
nowhere to be
Combs
found.
was on his shit.
No, it wasn't on Kanye West
Yes,
Spotify.
it was, bro.
It was on the Ye Spotify.
It was on the Ye Spotify.
Not on the Kanye West Spotify.
His shit's the same person.
You know the one where he's dropping Bully? He was very meticulous to only
He's
drop.
dropping Bully on Kanye West?
Yes.
What a fuck.
He's very meticulous.
fuck?
He's very meticulous on what he drops on Kanye West. Kanye West will only get the real art. When it's he knows he's doing on some bullshit, he'll do it on a burner account.
Alright, bro.
He knows
Ye's a fucking
you know why?
dick, bro.
You know
Ye's
why?
a dick.
It's because of this whole conversation about legacy. In a bunch of years, when people look up Kanye West, he doesn't want the bullshit to pop up. You know what I mean?
So
he doesn't.
penis,
So
bro.
Bully is going on the Kanye West. Ye only got the HH and Cousins.
He still worked on all of that with them, man. He put it out.
He did, but overall,
Kanye's such a penis,
a lot of
bro.
things that are bad about him don't involve his art. Most of it is just shit that he says and shit that he does.
That's true. But he went out of his way to make art about it. So.
Exactly. So if you're someone that thinks about legacy, make sure to have all your ducks straight, bro. All your eggs straight in your personal life. Because guess what? That's an extreme. Never mind. I'm not going to use that as an example. If you're a bad person in your own life, I was going to be like, if you're fucking kids, we're going to find out, all right? No, but
we are.
We're going to find out. No, but just if you're doing bad things in your personal life, people are going to find out. And then that's going to be your legacy. That's going to be your legacy. So, first important message of the day, put out for your culture. Make sure your people are up and the things that you care about are up, and your legacy will be greater for it.
You're nothing without them.
Bad Bunny, Michael Jackson,
you're nothing without them,
Jackie Robinson. You'll be up because your culture is up. Second message of the day.
Don't be Kanye.
Don't let your personal life get in the way. Kanye West. Andy Warhol. No, that's a pedophile. I'm not even going to throw him out there. Harvey Weinstein.
All the pedophiles.
Harvey Weinstein. Don't be Harvey Weinstein. That brother won so many Oscars. And no one will ever throw him in any greats debate because he was doing a madness.
It's unfortunate, bro.
Oh, he was a rapist. So, like, on a real note, don't be, if you're a bad person, maybe don't be an artist. Maybe just go to jail. You just end yourself, you know, if you're a bad person. If you like raping people, maybe just
one way to do it.
Maybe just don't make art. Maybe just like self-delete. I don't know.
That's insane.
But yeah, well, rape bad. On a real note, guys, moving on. Do you have any other artists you want to point out to help people build their legacy? You know, like someone else you want to say, hey, this person represents this good ideal. Because I got some few more in the chamber. If you want
you're saying artists that were great and then shit on their legacy?
No, I think we can move on from that because there's not really a lot of people. I don't want to shit on too many people. You know what I mean? So it's good to just be like, listen, don't let your personal life get in the way. Kanye West, Andy Warhol, Harvey Weinstein. Don't be a bad fucking person. Moving on. Because I have one more like guy that I want to discuss for good, but I'll let you bring it up because I feel like I've been overpowering the episode.
I mean, I've got a couple. Let's go with yours first. Let's go.
All right. I think someone that you could always take from, and I'm gonna do both these people in tandem: J. Cole and Lionel Messi.
Okay, that is a fucking hell of a mix.
Something else I want to attach to this while we're on the things you should have in your legacy: being down to earth and being a real ass person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your fans are always going to appreciate when you're a real ass person. When you don't try and hide the real aspects of your life that make you a person. Messi will never hop on the IG, talk about some. Messi posts on the IG, him and his family. I'm taking a nap on the couch.
Does he run his IG?
I don't even know if he runs his IG. I don't know if he runs anything. But Messi will go on interviews.
He runs the pitch.
Messi, 100%. Messi will go on interviews and ask him, who's the greatest player of all time? And you know what his answer is usually? Zinedine Zidane. Zidane isn't even top 5, by the way.
He's not top 5.
Zidane might not even be top 10. And Messi throws him out there. You know why? Because Messi doesn't care who's top 5 or top 10. That's his favorite player of all time. That's one of his favorite players of all time. So he'll throw him out there. He loves some Maradona. He'll throw Maradona out there. You know what I mean? J. Cole will sit there on an album and talk about some. Yeah, man. I got off my shift. I smoked some weed. I sat on my couch. Like, he's a real ass dude. He doesn't always have to talk about the bullshit. He doesn't have to make himself seem like a bigger than life figure because his music, his money, that already makes him a bigger than life figure. So then he could sit down and just say, on a real note, guys, I'm also a guy. You know what I mean?
I should be riding my bike.
I'll be riding. I'm ridiculously talented, but I'm also just a guy who's ridiculously talented. I'm not a god. I'm a guy. Messi, same thing. Messi gets called an alien, a footballing god, a footballing genius, all this shit, and then he'll go home and he'll be
he is.
But then he'll also. But it's very important that he comes out and points out, yes, I am all of these things, but I'm just a guy with a family.
I'm gonna go home to my family and dogs.
I like empanadas. You know something that came out recently? It came out recently that he messaged Bad Bunny on Instagram talking about some. I love your music, man. You're such a cool guy. You're such a cool.
Did you see him in the commercial with Will Smith? And bro, that shit was so funny.
Bad boys.
I saw an interview with Will Smith talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, Messi, like, he was on set, and he was just happy to be there.
He's a regular ass guy.
He was just so happy."
And okay, well, so I was saying before, he said bad boys. No, bro, his English is so bad.
Funny,
There's another one where he did a Lays commercial. He's like, no Lays, no party.
I remember when that shit aired. Bro.
Dude, why does he low key sound like a minion? On a real note, let's get.
Oh my god, that was all the comp. That was all the comp.
No, but getting back to it. Yeah, he messaged Bad Bunny. And he messaged Bad Bunny the way that like a fan of messaged Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny was like, I love you. You're Messi. You're the GOAT. Like, you know, and he's so humble that he's so humble in that shit where when he talks to every celebrity that's ever met him is like, I don't think he knows that he's Messi. You know what I mean?
See, I've heard that, but I feel like he probably does.
I don't think he does.
I feel like that's just like how he acts.
I think he's just because he's a regular guy and he hasn't let what other people tell him make him forget that he's a regular guy.
Yeah.
Because I always push ego is important.
He's like the Charlie of football.
Having a big ego is important, but you can never let your ego go so far that you forget that you're just a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the end, you could think that you're the most talented person ever, but it's very important not to forget that you are a person. You know what I mean?
Person with Bugattis.
I feel like you were shitting on him all opposite. Someone like Kanye, I feel like he forgets sometimes that he is a person. He's a ridiculously talented person, but he's a person. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a guy. He's not a god. I think he forgets that sometimes, and you can never let
He's,
that
I mean,
happen.
he's claimed to be a god,
Because
so
when you forget that you are a person, your art is gonna. Because
yeah,
you will literally
generally, yeah,
you'll
it
drop
will.
anything. You'll be like, well, people will love it because I'm that great.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
you see it in a lot of athletes when their ego gets too big, they stop training. They stop not to shit on anyone specifically. Ronaldinho was like, I'm so great, I don't need to train. And then you got a little
But
beer
also, just
belly.
when you look at stuff, it's like being personable and like being human.
That opens doors for you.
It not only opens doors, but like people just aren't. And I mean, if you don't care about people, people think cool. I mean, you kind of have to a certain extent. But
You
people just aren't gonna like gravitate toward you, and that's
people
immediately gonna take away from you.
people love
It's
the.
like you're rusting.
You look at the humble guys, right? They're beloved. They're
Yes,
beloved. Like you can say what you want about J. Cole, but J. Cole fans,
cult fan
J.
base.
Cole could literally fart on a mic and they'll be like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! He changed my life!"
Classic.
Like Drake. Let me put
Classic.
this: Drake has ravenous fans, but like the difference between Drake and J. Cole fans, or Drake fans are ravenous very negatively, but they don't glaze Drake the way J. Cole gets. The way J. Cole gets glazed is
He's the Messiah.
like generational glaze.
Yeah.
And then you ask him, and he's like, "I'm just a dude with a hoodie and a bike." You know what I mean? Like, and then
He literally said that on the fall off.
as
Not the bike part, but
as a Messi, and then you want to get into like Messi fans. If I met Messi, I would get him to sign my arm, and I get a tattoo.
yeah,
Like genuinely, Messi to me, Messi's like a god.
yeah.
I,
I feel like that's something that people that's something to take away
I
right there.
I am parasocial. I have
Like
posters
that,
of
no,
Messi in my
no,
room.
no.
I am Messi.
But like you guys thinking because like there's people that I'll go out of my way, and I mean Tomas like for y'all's information, Tomas and I aren't super religious. It's like bro, to seeing some of these guys, like we've got people that like that's a god to me. That's okay, right? That's okay within reason, of
All right,
course.
let's talk about religion.
But when you when you look at one of these guys, you shouldn't like it's just a saying at the end of the day. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be a god one day. I mean,
Hey,
you might
if I
turn
sa-
into Kanye though.
if I sacrifice enough babies,
I mean,
I might ascend.
That's one way to do it.
I saw that
but-
in a video game.
What?
Video games cause violence, y'all. Shout out.
Okay,
No,
bro.
they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
That's
No,
amazing.
I'm fucking around.
That
I'm
is
fucking
an
around.
amazing pull.
Get into it.
But yeah, that's something that I feel like I never hear people talk about it. And like I wasn't planning on talking about this, but like I'll go around and I'm like, yo, this person's a god to me, and I idolize them, and that's cool and all. But you have to be aware enough to know that these people are people, and they realize that as well.
But I think when they lose track, because when so many people call you a god or like call you this or call you that, you can't lose track
can't.
that you are a person. Because when you do, it's not only first of all going to make you get less connections in the field. People are just not going to like hanging around you.
Yeah, you gotta be
not to shit on anyone in specific, but I mean, just do your research into what's happening to Ronaldo right now versus what's happening to Messi, and how messy Ronaldo's life is versus Messi's life. Bars. I'm a fucking rapper out here. But on a real note, you look at Messi's life, and his life is great. He just chills in Miami with his family, and he turned down a ginormous, disgusting contract for Saudi Arabia to come to Miami because he liked the atmosphere of Miami. And he just went and he just has fun with his family and he plays with the people he likes to play with, and that's it. He's literally basically retired, and he's still winning trophies and making money while he's basically retired. And then you look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo was literally just like last week. He was on strike and he missed 2 Al Nassr games.
He was what? Oh, 5.
Because Benzema moved to the rival team, his rival team. They said that's unfair. That team is too good now. I can't win, so he went on strike.
Cool.
Which is like, by the way, fucking grown ass 40-year-old man. For those of you that don't know, it's not that I don't like Ronaldo. I just think he's too old to act the way he acts.
Okay.
One thing is competitive spirit, but my brother in Christ, you've won way too many trophies and you've done way too much in your career to act the way you act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He acts like he's 10 sometimes, and you're like, dude, you're a grown man with children, and like you're not like he's mature sometimes and he's a great guy sometimes, and then he goes on strike because the other team is too good. And you're like, and you look at the difference, and that's a guy who calls himself the greatest player of all time. That's a guy who has this massive ego, and then you look at the guy who has lesser ego, and he's actually winning with his team, first of all, and second of all, he's just having a good time, and more people like him. You look at the connections that Ronaldo's been building as of recent. He's hanging out with Mr. Beast, which, Mr. Beast, not to. He's been hanging out with Donald Trump recently too, Ronaldo. He's been hanging out
see that.
He's been hanging out with a lot more controversial, negative figures. Meanwhile, you look at the people that Messi's hanging around with, he's like what is it, Will Smith? Like he's just chilling.
Bad
Bad
boys.
Bunny.
Bad
He's
boys.
he's just Messi's literally just chilling, hanging out with whoever. Meanwhile, Ronaldo's doing all this shit
Yeah, these are things that people are gonna remember, bro.
because Ronaldo's closing doors by being this maniacal guy.
Yeah.
And then you look at Messi, and Messi's opening doors by being humble and being beloved. You look at the way that other football players talk about Messi. The guys that don't know him have this ginormous praise for him. And then you look at Ronaldo, and the people that praise Ronaldo are usually people that know him or played with him or stuff like that. Because Messi, by just being a genuine guy, has people like, you know who talks hella good about Messi? Ramos. You know who's never talked good about Ronaldo? Literally anyone that plays against him. Meanwhile, people that play against Messi, they love him. Ramos has come out and said, yeah, Messi's the GOAT. Messi's one of my favorite players of all time.
I'm falling asleep here, bro.
My bad, yeah.
You're going on a Messi glaze fest.
That's on me.
He's my GOAT player, guys. I love Messi.
Nah, Messi changed my life, y'all. But on a real note, I'll be talking like a J. Cole fan.
See, you know what? That's a great fucking point.
I'll be talking like a J. Cole fan. But no, I just say all this to say, being humble will open doors for you. Being humble will do so much for you. And I'm not saying don't glaze yourself every once in a while, but don't lose track of who you genuinely are as a person and who you were as a person before you made all this shit, before you did all this, before you did all that. So that's my point with Messi and J. Cole. So far we have put out for your culture, put out for your people. Don't let your personal life get in the way of the legacy, and don't lose sight of who you are.
Yep. Unless you been him, then shit. I guess you just been him.
All right.
But you're probably not him.
Do you have anything else? Any other examples that you want, like a core tenet of legacy that you think are represented by certain people?
Yeah, this episode went
Very theoretical.
not where I thought it was going.
We're going very theoretical right now.
I'm gonna bring it down back to the concrete.
Okay.
A little bit, just a little bit here. I want to look at scale. Actually, seriously, because we've only looked at guys that are fucking huge.
All right.
Okay, I want to look at scale, guys.
Is this what we talked about?
Yeah.
Like respect versus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you look at all of these guys, right? Bad Bunny, biggest right now. Messi, biggest not only right now, of all time, right? Ronaldo, also one of the biggest of all
One of the
time.
most famous humans of all time. Right
So it's like we look at all these guys
Michael
and
Jackson.
they are at the top of their game, number one. Not only in skill, but also in fame and recognition and accolades, awards, the whole fucking nine, right? Why do I bring that up? I'm gonna take it back to hip hop because that's what I know. You look at a guy,
hip hop, yeah.
not even a guy. I'm gonna say the whole label, Griselda, right? A lot of people don't know what Griselda is.
My favorite guy, Griselda.
My favorite guy, Griselda. He's a great guy, Griselda.
Great guy.
You look at the record label Griselda, right? And I wanted to bring him up and some other artists up because speaking of legacy, it's some people are retiring, like
Oh, okay.
you know, not fully retiring, but J. Cole, the fall off.
Coleslaw.
He has no intentions of dropping any other J.
One
Cole
more,
albums,
One more.
right? Aside from It's a Boy,
It's a boy.
you know, he's gonna drop that. And he's gonna keep producing and stuff, but we're not gonna get the super hungry J. Cole that we've always had, right? Same with like where Jay-Z's at. And when you look at Griselda, for those who don't know, which you should know, you probably do know if you're watching us. Griselda's a record label founded by West Side Gun, and he has family within there. Family, I said family, sounded like I said family. Family with Conway the Machine and Benny the Butcher, and they have a whole bunch of artists under them, guys. And when you look at people like Nas, when you look at people like Jay-Z, and all those big guys, right? Dr. Dre, Griselda has some artists that are praised by these guys. Some of them that are really close to Jay-Z, actually, and Rock Nation and all that. And one of them being West Side Gun himself, right? The owner, the curator, the mastermind behind Griselda. And I think it's called Fly God is the Ugly God 3, I think is dropping soon. And he said it might be his last album. He wants to just go create on other things. And when you look at a guy like West Side Gun, he doesn't have all the commercial success that Drake has and Dot has and all that. This man is a master. He doesn't even have the illest pen. He doesn't even have the illest pen in his own label, in his own family. Conway the Machine probably has the nicest pen. You know what I mean? And then within the label, you could say it's either Conway or a guy like Rome Street or something like that.
Was it Kendrick that said that Conway has like the grossest pen?
I don't know. I've never heard Kendrick say that.
There was like someone who's like has really gross pen who said that. I think it was either Conway or like someone in Griselda. They're like, oh, this dude is ill.
What are you saying? I've just had a brain.
No, okay, my bad. So there's like a really big artist who said who
Hmm.
was talking about Griselda, and like one of these dudes is like a really ill pen.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I think
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, whatever.
A
Doesn't
lot of them
matter.
have ill pens.
That's why I'm kind of like I don't even remember who it was.
But you look at these guys, bro, and why I wanted to bring these guys up and scale specifically is because you don't have to be Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305
I
to have
mean,
a great legacy. You know what I mean? And why I bring that up is because I want you to think about your definition of what success is and what legacy you want. Maybe you wouldn't even want to be the Messi of your industry. Maybe you wouldn't want to be the Drake of hip hop.
want to be the Neymar.
You know what I mean? Maybe you would like to be the Griselda. Maybe you would like to be West Side Gun. A guy like West Side Gun, he's 40 or 50 something. He's gonna drop his lost album, right, as he said, and he's gonna go on to create other things. But this man is known as a master curator because he is. The output that this guy's had since a youngin'. Keep in mind, bro, these guys grew up off selling coke. You know what I'm saying? And Griselda didn't even start as a record label. It started off as a fashion brand. If you didn't know, it didn't even start off as
Just like how we
as a
started off as a podcast.
so it didn't even start from there. And he's gone on to do clothes and he's doing shoes and he's doing all these things. A lot of hip hop artists go into movies. Why do I bring that up? Freddie Gibbs. He and Alchemist did mention the idea of an Alpha 3, but in Freddie Gibbs' last bootleg Kev interview, he went on and bro, this guy won a Grammy. This guy has one of the most consistent discographies of all time. He has multiple,
Very
and
respected.
not multiple more than one, multiple more than two. You could argue four, maybe even going on five if Alfredo 3's to that level. Classic records. And again, not everybody knows who Freddie Gibbs is. Not every hip hop fan knows who Freddie Gibbs is.
I'd wager that outside of the hip hop community, most people don't know
No,
who Freddie Gibbs
no,
is,
definitely not. Definitely not.
and he's ill. Like
And
like
this
I wouldn't know who
guy.
Freddie Gibbs was if it wasn't because of you.
This guy's legacy is disgusting, and he went on this bootleg Kev interview. And keep in mind, guys, my heart is breaking right now. These are all some of my favorite artists, bro. And he went on, and he said he's like, yo, what more do I have left to prove? He's done a couple movies. He's acting. He's doing
Freddie
things.
Gibbs?
Yeah.
What movies?
He just did one. He did a horror thriller about some vampire cops this past year. He was a side role in something a couple years ago. He's done a couple things, and I think he was in. Was it Power? It was one of the hip hop series. Maybe it was Power with
Yeah,
50.
I mean to lock in.
I don't know, but point is, dude, a lot of these guys have the legacy. They've got the respect, and for people like me personally, Freddie Gibbs changed the game for me. He's one of my favorites of all time. And he's got the respect of the greats within, the greats outside. Bro, this guy's a song with he went on tour with Claro. Like, yeah, bro.
When the fuck did
Yeah,
that
bro, he
happen?
performed Crime Pays with Claro, bro. Like, um
White girls shout out.
facts.
Oh,
So
white girls are up right now.
so
Freddie Gibbs.
and in case you're scared of being underground, I mean, I feel like I should have to go without saying, right? Because with legacy, of
You have
course,
to
you
start
want to.
underground.
Yeah, you have to start underground, but also with legacy, you also want to be able to sustain yourself. All these guys are rich. In case you're worried, all right, these guys are filthy rich. They're smart businessmen.
Don't worry about Freddie Gibbs' pocket, bro.
Don't worry
It's
about
deep.
don't worry about that. So but I say that because a lot of people I resonate a little bit with that. You know what I mean? But a lot of people then get worried because if I'm not the Drake, I'm not gonna be able to live as an artist. I'm not gonna be able to thrive as an artist, right? Some people may think that. There's plenty of ways to do it.
Yeah, don't think that, boys.
Alchemist isn't signed to a label. Alchemist isn't even in the hip hop industry really, because he has his own shit. He has his own label. He sells to his own consumers directly. He does all this shit. So don't think that a legacy and being remembered for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 200 years, like some of the biggest fashion houses, and someone like Michael Jackson's gonna be remembered for I wager a long time, a
Forever.
very long time.
I think
Right?
he's gonna go down as one of those like Beethoven, like one
Like
of those
he's in the
guys.
history books.
Yeah,
So don't think that's the only thing. If that is part of your definition, that's perfectly fine. That's great. But don't think that is the only way you have to live life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm competitive. I'm very competitive. But learn how to weigh out the things, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to show love to the craft first, right? Freddie Gibbs is one of the most meticulous artists in all of hip hop. He showed love to the craft first, and it paid him back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It loved him back, and he's found ways to do everything he's ever wanted to through just putting his head down and working. You know what I mean? So I feel like that approach, I feel like, is much more game centric, like much more focused on the game, and it doesn't come with a lot of the rah rah like from the outside. You know what I mean? But it's one of, in my opinion, one of the best lifestyles. You know what I mean? I don't know,
Hey.
like that's I don't know what my legacy is gonna be. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about that in the second half,
Yeah.
but I think it is. It feels blissful to me. You
Not
know what I mean?
to get into that second half segment. That's not really where I want to be personally, but whatever. We'll get more into that in the second half.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So far we've discussed the. I like that you brought it back because that should be a good. That's a good starting point. That's the concrete of it. What kind of legacy do you actually want to have? Do you want to be respected but maybe not remembered as well, or remembered very well but maybe you're not known within the community super respected? Like I don't think people within like I don't know like people who are really into like reggaeton don't think that Bad Bunny's like the best at reggaeton. Like they don't love him as
Yeah,
the best.
probably not,
But
no.
but he's very gonna be remembered very much in
Yeah.
the field. But he's not considered like the best. You know what I mean? Same thing with someone like Drake. Drake is never. No one considers Drake like the best. But he's very remembered, very loved.
Absolutely.
And then, or would you rather be someone like Freddie Gibbs, where like maybe he won't be remembered as long, but he's known. You know what I mean? West Side Gun known to be very good.
I think
Known to be a great, but maybe not super loved. Okay, a real good one. Andre 3000. That brother's always going to be known as one of the best, but is he known by the big worldwide? Like, let's be honest, bro.
yeah, you're talking like
We're one generation removed from Outkast, and the young kids
Yeah,
nowadays don't know who Outkast is
yeah,
like that.
you mean like the guys on the face of whatever door you're gonna walk into versus the guys inside the crates you have to sift through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, Messi's both, obviously. Michael Jackson's both, right? But would rather be like a Ronaldinho, very, very well known, but also overrated by the casual audience. Or would you rather be like very respect, like, you know what I mean? Again, Andre 3000. Maybe not the most known hip hop guy out there, by the young kids nowadays that don't remember Outkast like that. But those who know he is a GOAT.
I will say over time it's changed a lot. Drake was my favorite artist for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right, pretty much throughout most of high school when I got into hip hop. Excuse me, and he shaped the early.
To be fair, in our high school years, he dropped like 5 albums.
He did.
He was like every year he was dropping an album. I feel like some years he dropped 2.
He was on shit.
He was on shit. Like we were in high
on
school,
shit.
he was like fucking For All the Dogs.
No, he was going crazy.
Fucking yeah, bro. He was stupid.
So he was my favorite, right? I wouldn't say my favorite. Tyler Creator was my favorite, but he was like, my favorite rapper. I don't consider Tyler just a rapper. He's an artist, right? But Drake was my favorite rapper for a while. And he also defined a lot of what I thought greatness was. Specifically greatness, right? So in my head, I was like, yo, I want to have the bling. I want to have the money. I want to have the stature. I want to have everything. I want to have everything that comes with it. And I want to be the biggest. I want to be when I pass away, my name is gonna go right up there with Dior and Gucci and all these guys, right? But I think as I've grown and understood where I want my art to come from and what I value personally, right? I wouldn't mind my name not being attached to so much stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, right? First of all, as an artist, I want to be a presence, right? I want to be remembered, if nothing, as a presence. You know what I mean? Not a name, right? Definitely a presence before a name, because you can't shake a presence. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? You can't do. This is what happened, and this presence. This is how I think about it, right? If I drop a boulder into a river or a lake or the ocean, right, or the meteor that took all the dinosaurs away, bro, what is happening right now would never have happened if it wasn't for that, right? Maybe in 1,000 years a whole bunch of stuff gets lost and people don't remember that it was a meteor, or the name of the meteor,
That
or
was
how
the
large
most
it
important
was,
shit,
or where
like-
it was, but it was a presence, and that is non-debatable. It's not
And
debatable.
those who know.
Those who know. And as I've learned what I like personally, because this is another thing, right? I like the if you know, you know culture. I like, I like the
Elite
idea.
ball knowledge.
Yeah, essentially, right?
You,
I like the idea that some people just aren't gonna find you out. Some people
some
aren't
people got
gonna,
small knowledge.
and a lot of people don't need it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But whoever I got to influence them. So I think I'm in between. I think for the sake, I feel like it's more of a difference of how I balance ideals, right, and what I want to do, because I want to make the best art I could possibly make, right, and that is more in the lane of like the Freddie Gibbs, right? Those examples, right? But I also want to push a message in the world. So
Yeah.
because of that, I want to have the biggest name I could possibly
You
have.
don't want to be a false guy. You
Yeah,
want to be like
because
okay.
right where it all started was Virgil Abloh for me. Right, this guy was pushing a message in the world, and he had the name and the stature and the status to be able to get to as many specifically younger people like us,
Mhm.
as he possibly could. And I want to be able to do that one day.
I feel like we're
So
getting to that like second half part though, where
yeah,
you kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
discuss
So
your
so
legacy.
I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have the name. You know what I mean? But if nothing else,
You're discussing more as like a balance of respect versus.
yeah, definitely in the middle, but really more of like what I value.
Yeah.
Because as far as what's gonna happen, I mean,
We should save that for the second half. A lot of this stuff.
you know.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But
We should
but
save
but
some of
yeah,
this.
I think I'm in between.
So throwing up like a little. I think. Do you think we're done with like examples and like the core tenets of legacy?
Yeah, I think
So I don't think
I feel like I
got.
have one more, but I feel like we're pretty good.
I feel like we're good with this. I think I'll throw up like a little graph on screen so y'all could see the negatives. You know, like bad personal life, bad art at the end of your career, lazy stuff at the end of your career. Kanye falls in both of those negative categories. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
he falls in every
he falls in everything
category.
negative. Poor fucking guy. And then so
For us, bro.
poor me. But then on one side you have like the negatives. Like don't have a don't be a
Don't
bad
blend
person. Don't blend in. Yeah, that's fine. Don't be a bad person. Don't drop some slop at the end of your career to ruin it. That kind of stuff, like at the end. And then on the side of like good legacy things and all that stuff, you have like putting out for your culture, putting out for your people, so your people and your culture respects you. You have being humble and not forgetting your roots, that kind of stuff, not forgetting who you are, where you came from. Those kind of go hand in hand, but there's kind of the same idea there. And then, like Derrick said, it is the respect. The respect needs to be there. And then there's one in the middle, the key question behind everything. What do you want your legacy to be?
Exactly. See, I was gonna ask you that.
And
Yeah.
where do you want your legacy to be? And I think that's a good transition to the second half of the
Yeah.
episode, which we'll be right back, y'all. We'll really say we'll be right back, but for them it's like instant.
Wait, I actually wanted to say this
All right, go ahead.
because I just wanted to ask you this
Hold
specifically.
off.
When you look at a guy like Bad Bunny and like Kanye and all these guys, bro,
Bro, my phone went off and it's an Uber Eats notification, bro.
every time, bro,
I'm big.
bro.
All right, go ahead.
When you look at these guys like Bad Bunny and Kanye, I mean, it's less of a question. It's more of like just a thought. I want y'all to think about, just think of a word. You know what I mean? Like what they stood for. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we didn't really say that much. Stand for something. You know what I mean?
Stand for something.
Yeah, because
Yes.
we
'Cause if
danced
you-
around that idea. We danced
We
with that
talked
idea.
about this the other day. If you
danced
don't,
around that
if you
idea,
don't
but-
stand for something, you fall for everything.
Yeah, you got to stand for something. Above all, and we're gonna get more into that in a second as well. But yeah, stand. Think about what these people stand for, and that is where it's kind of like the name behind the painting. You analyze the painting, but you look at the
Yeah,
name and you're like, okay,
Everything everything you put out should have meaning, even if the meaning is as simple as you shouldn't care that much about like something like don't have the glass, where the meaning of don't have the glass is not everything needs to be super deep. This could just be for dancing.
Yeah.
That's still a meaning. Everything
Yeah.
should have a meaning because
there's a reason people stay in their lanes, bro, and they
don't
build
laugh.
great on that.
Don't laugh at this. But if you don't have meaning, your stuff is gonna be a slop.
That's true.
You're gonna drop some slop, and it's gonna be bad. And it's gonna rot the youth's brains, and it's not gonna be respected. Very important. It
Okay,
might
I'll
sell.
laugh at that.
It might sell, but it won't be respected.
Yeah. See, it might sell, but it won't be respected.
So
Fucking
make
great
sure
point.
everything that you do has meaning. I think that's a good place to like leave off.
Yeah.
All right. For you it's instant, but for us it's gonna be like 3 hours. All right, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We're back, y'all. From a quick little halftime break. We talked about a lot of things.
We unst.
If you want to hear about what we talked about, go to the Patreon. We should do a whole Patreon episode dedicated to that.
We should.
All right. Yeah. So getting into the legacy discussion, right? This whole second half of the episode, we're going to talk about what we want our legacies to be, and I think it's: do we want to start or do we want to end with what we want the legacy of this brand, the Don't Blend In brand, to me? Because we got to start or end with it. We can't be somewhere in the middle. I can't say mine and then this show and then yours.
I think we end with it.
End with it. All right. So, do you want to start talk about your legacy?
I want to hear you, man. What you got going on, bro?
All right. So, this is going to get more personal into who I am because I haven't really gotten too personal on the show before. So, my real goal, my real dream is to one day direct movies, right? And shows. I'm down for either one. Why are you laughing, bro? You're still laughing about what we talked about at the halftime?
No, when you said goal, I just thought of another word.
Hole? All right.
You're going to write it? I'll write it down.
I have, by the way, y'all, I have an ulcer, bro. I cut my mouth. It hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you see me going like this a little bit, it's because my mouth hurts, bro. I got a cut in my mouth right now. But yeah, I want to direct movies.
Okay.
I want to direct movies and shows. I've heard a lot of directors, especially like Christopher Nolan and stuff, talk about how they never want to get into TV. And I never understood that. You know what I mean? I'd love to do TV. I think TV gives you more flexibility to adapt longer stories.
Why don't they?
I don't actually know. I think it's just because TV is like seen as a lower form of media because it's just like
Insane.
It's harder. First of all, lower budget, less opportunity to play around with these like top tier things.
Okay, that's
but
fair.
I see television as the only way sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get a Game of Thrones movies. That doesn't fucking work.
Right,
There's just too much to adapt. You know, I think. Actually, the Game of Thrones show is coming out right now, The Hedge Knight. I think that one could have been a movie. Mm-hmm. It's like 30-minute episodes.
That could have been a movie.
Could have been a movie.
Yeah.
But after that, I think TV lets you play around with fully adapting things and not having to cut things. I think Harry Potter should have been as good as the movies were. Harry Potter should have probably been a TV series, and it would have benefited a lot from that. But yeah, I'm very open to do TV. I'm very open to a lot of stuff that a lot of directors really don't want to move into. But that's not really the point. Getting into legacy discussions, I was thinking about this, I forgot if it was last night or the night before, but I always want my movies and any art that I put out there to mean something. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain people that really don't give a fuck, but for me, it always either wants to be pushing storytelling, like doing something interesting within a story that maybe you haven't seen before, or maybe a lot of people haven't done before. Maybe the way I tell my story is something interesting. Maybe the way that the characters are written is interesting, you know? And if I'm not doing that, I want it to be that the message of the movie itself, the message of the show itself is important to me and what I care about. Okay. Those are the only two things I ever really want to make. Like, I only really want to make things where either the way the story is being told is interesting, the world that's in it is interesting, or the things I care about are present in that film. Okay. Like the things that to me really matter within the world, within my personal life, the struggles that I face, the struggles that others face that I am passionate about, that kind of stuff. So I do want to have that whole like putting on for your people, for your culture. I do want to at least make something at some point that is more Hispanic centric, more Latino centric. So
that passion project.
You know, maybe that wouldn't be my passion project, but it would be something just for the community that really for them to enjoy and for other people who aren't to understand us better.
Right.
You know, that is something that I would love to do. I don't think the whole thing they were talking about personal life getting in the way. I don't think that's ever going to get in the way for me because I'm just not a bad person. I don't. You know,
it's funny because it really is just as simple as that.
Like I know,
but it still happens so often.
Rape bad.
Yeah.
Molesting children.
It's just
bad.
so simple.
Nazi bad. You know what I mean? Like it's really racism bad. It's really that easy. Like
yeah, it really is.
For y'all to get an idea, I am against homophobia. I'm against transphobia. I'm against Islamophobia.
He's against anything bad.
I'm against all the phobias. Like I'm not
only him. No,
except for whatever roller coaster phobia is. All right, I am fucking horrified of them.
Justice for the roller coasters.
No, bro, I am horrified of roller coasters. I would never ride. You'll never catch me on a roller coaster. Patreon episode. I ride a roller coaster. That's a $20 episode. No, if you write me a check for $1,000, I ride a coaster.
One day
for the Patreon.
We're gonna do it one day.
That's not a challenge, by the way. That is me saying I can negotiate out of this. That is not a promise. That is not a. You know, if I'm a millionaire, I am not gonna take a check of $1,000 to ride a roller coaster. I'm horrified.
They pay $1,000 for the episode.
I'm horrified of them, Johns. But Oh, said John.
Johns.
Yeah, whatever, bro. But getting really more into what I want to represent and what I want to do, I always want to push togetherness. You know what I mean? It's something that's very deep in my core as a person. I really do genuinely believe all people are people, and I think
Facts.
it's. And by the way, the fact that's even like a
Right, I was talking about this yesterday.
yeah, the fact that it's
Yeah.
even like a crazy take. I think all people are people, and I always want that to be represented in my art. I always want people to walk away from my movies thinking the way that people walk away from Avatar thinking that wow, the environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way that people walk. That was just the first example that came to mind. You know what I mean? People walk away from certain movies and they just have certain feelings. People want people to always walk away from my movies knowing something that I care about. You know what I mean? Whether it is a political take that I have, or it's like a struggle that's going on in the world right now, or it's just the fact that all people are people, or like just anything that I care about in specific, or Hispanic culture. You know, it's pretty cool, guys.
I feel like people being people, like it really is as simple as the like. I feel like if you put it like this to more people, when you go to a hospital per se, right? Specifically like a hospital, and either you get prescribed something or medicated, or you're gonna get surgery done on you, right? Let's say you never saw the person that made that medication or that prescribed you that. Hospital's got to be one of the most diverse places in the world, like genuinely. No, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me
I
out.
know, but that's just like such a random. No,
But the people that are prescribing you, bro, it's some of those, because everybody wants to be in the hospital. There's so many people that work there.
The medicine comes from one country and it's packaged in another country. And
No, but specifically, you look at something as simple as color,
okay,
bro. Could you tell me what the stereotypical fucking doctor looks like? No, everybody. And I say specifically hospitals. No. I say specifically hospitals because what the fuck is a hospital supposed to do? You're getting your life saved.
You want to talk about art and my specific
You're getting your life saved. Why are you not letting me have my moment? Listen. You're getting your life saved. You're getting your life saved. And you don't think about what the surgeon looks like. You can't see them while they're fucking operating in your brain.
I'm scared.
You would be scared.
This guy.
You would be scared if there wasn't that doctor, black, Asian, white, Jewish, fucking. Why am I forgetting other places? Hispanic. I'm
native, indigenous, indigenous.
I think that's an example that more people should think about, bro.
Getting into what I was saying.
Yes.
This is actually exemplified in my art form. Most medical TV shows have at least one episode. There's a patient that comes in and says, I don't want the black doctor to work on me.
Really?
I don't want the woman doctor to work on me. And then they fucking die. No, in some shows, they just fucking die. Or
wait, I don't know much about it. House.
I'm pretty sure House is an episode like that. Well, no, okay, but House is
like every clip that I see of House is just funny.
No. House is a weird show where it's like the episode. They had an episode where someone got an ancient disease because of House is like time travel and
is House not?
No, House is like a medical show,
okay.
It is a medical show that plays around with concepts. You know what I mean?
Okay. I thought House was like.
By the way, the time travel is not real time travel. It's like there's an episode where someone is having delusions and there's literally an entire scene where they get sucked up by a black hole. It's not actually happening. It's like
spaghettified.
No, like they're in a CAT scan, and the CAT scan, like the back of it just disappears and it's a wormhole and they get sucked into it. It's not actually happening, but you can see, and then like it cuts to the doctor like, look, their brain is going crazy in this CAT scan. What the fuck is happening? But House plays around with concepts.
Okay.
House, I give House like the BoJack Horseman comp instead of like any other medical show.
Okay.
This bringing it back to my legacy. I want to make shows like BoJack and House where they play around with concepts a lot.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going away from House.
I'm going to get into this deeply. I'm going to get away a little bit from racism and stuff like that. Because I can wrap it up as simple as I think all people are people. I think if you don't think all people are people, I'm liable to hit you in your face. And Derrick agrees with that take. Because Derrick is also a good person.
And then I'm gonna take your knees.
Yeah, bro.
I'm going to take your knees and beat you with them.
Yeah, bro. Don't be racist, Don't be homophobic. Don't be transphobic. Don't be any kind of phobic. But getting more into what I was about to say with the TV shows and stuff like that. Because I've been talking this whole time about like, hey, I want these shows and these movies to be based around things that I care about. I want to always push topics that I care about, the important topics that the world needs to see. I want to cause change in the world with my movies. But there is also one different kind of but style of telling stories that I do want to delve into. And I'm going to talk about my favorite TV show of all time, BoJack Horseman. BoJack Horseman does address a lot of topics, mainly the hierarchy of men and how men, they sexually assault women and they kind of get away with it when they're powerful and rich. These pedophiles very much get away with it. BoJack is a rich, famous man, and he gets away with. He's a rich, famous man. He's a celebrity. Cool. In his universe, he's a celebrity.
Okay.
And he's rich and he's famous and he's a man.
I gotta watch it, man.
He gets away with mistreating. One of the core tenets of the show is this brother mistreats every woman in his life. Every single one. And there's one in specific, for those who have seen the show, no spoilers, but there's one girl in the show that very, very much, no, he doesn't girl, but like she's young.
No, I'm listening.
She's not, no.
I wasn't even like that. I was making a face.
Hold on, because that.
It does sound kind of crazy.
Yeah, not with her, but there's another girl.
Okay, cool, nice.
He's like everything. He's like every kind of everything.
Oh, okay.
He's a great representation of celebrities.
He's just
horrible.
Okay.
He is like, I saw this meme and it was like, who is the most evil on this list? And like 3 out of the 4 of them were like actual like genocidal murderers, and one of them was BoJack, and not a single comment said BoJack. There was comments saying Aaron, because Aaron is like, Aaron was one of them saying, well, Aaron was justified. Bro, BoJack didn't kill no one. And we all know that BoJack is worse than Aaron Yeager.
But in BoJack, is it like he's actually acting, or is like you're just getting his
what?
Inner monologue on stuff? Or is he actually like doing shit?
You get his inner monologue, and you get to see him doing things, and he's
so it's both. So he's doing everything bad.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick with this, basically the way the show is set up is BoJack is the main character, and you get to see his life after fame. He was famous in the 90s. That's really the outro of the show. He was famous. He had a TV show in the 90s that's very successful, and then since then he's kind of been living off the money and stuff.
Okay.
Throughout the show, he actually does become famous again. He stars in more TV movies and stuff like that, and he kind of comes back. He has a career to come back and stuff like that. But basically, since before the show even starts, this dude is awful. This dude mistreats the child stars on the show with him. He mistreats every woman in his life, and the show is very much like it gives BoJack outs at some point, being like, yes, he had a horrible mother. Mm-hmm. He had a horrible father, so this is why he's like this. And BoJack latched himself to that kind of stuff, being like, yes, I'm not actually that bad, guys, because my mom was horrible, my dad was horrible. But every time the show also points out, hey, sure, this is true, but he's an awful person, even so. Because then his mom, who gets villainized throughout the whole show, being like, well, his mom ruined his life, kind of, right? His mom also had a horrible childhood growing up, debatably worse than BoJack's. So now is BoJack's mom justified for the way she treated BoJack? Because so the show plays around with a lot of deep concepts, and the show doesn't do it does a lot. It has deep messages behind it, but one of the core things that makes the show so interesting is the way it plays around with its storytelling. There is one episode of every season that is going to be a psychedelic trip where you don't know what's happening every single episode.
How many seasons are there?
There is like 5, 6, give or take. But the show has these like psychedelic episodes, and a lot of them are, the highest rated episodes in the show. There's an episode that is, the entire episode does not cut away once. There's a monologue. There's only one character in the whole episode, and he talks throughout the entire episode. Mm-hmm. That episode almost won an Emmy.
Jesus.
And that's one of the core tenets of the show, the fact that it plays around with the storytelling in a way that pushes the entire industry of television forward. Right. It is just so smart in the way it tells its stories and the way it formats, just the way it tells the story, basically. The way it does that with an episode like Free Churro, where Free Churro is a monologue. The entire episode. You have another episode like Time's Arrow, where 2 storylines are happening at the exact same time, but one takes place 60, 50 years before it. And they're happening in the same place at the same time. You know what I mean? Like you see one like there's literally one part where these 2 characters have a duet, but one is singing in the 50s, and the other one's playing the piano for her singing.
Oh, that's sick. That's sick.
So the way the show tells its stories pushes everything forward. That's something that I would love to play around with. Not everything needs to be super like, I have a message that I want to give you. Sometimes it's going to be, there's this really interesting thing I want to try. Maybe I want to try an episode that's a full monologue or something similar like that. Yeah. I want to do that kind of stuff too. So I'm not just boxing myself in being like, hey, everything that I do is going to be about pushing agendas. Sometimes I'm not pushing an agenda. Sometimes I'm just trying out something cool that I wanted to do. Right. Sometimes I want to shoot my movie in a certain aspect ratio, and that's just the whole point of the movie. I just wanted to show you something cool within the film industry. Sometimes I just want to push the film industry forward. Other times, I'm gonna want to tell stories, and that's how I see filmmaking, and that's how I see television. Go watch BoJack Horseman; it's the greatest TV show of all time. Yes, and I've seen The Sopranos. Yes, I've seen Better Call Saul. Yes, I've seen Game of Thrones. Yes, I've seen Breaking Bad. Yes, I've seen everything that's like people consider the greatest show of all time, except for The Wire. I've never seen The Wire, but aside from The Wire, I've seen all these shows. I still think BoJack is better than all of them. But I feel like I've rambled on here a little bit. Just main two tenets I've repeated a bunch of times. For me personally, I want to make things that push the agendas that I want to push the messages that I want to push, and then also I want to push the industry forward. I want to do certain things. I want to play around with certain ways of telling stories. You know what I mean? Maybe I want to make an Oppenheimer where Oppenheimer has core messages about it, but what is the real thing we all took away from Oppenheimer? The story's completely out of order, and it all makes sense.
Perfect.
The way the story is told is so beautiful, and that's what I take away from the movie. I don't take away as much the whole messaging behind the tragedy of the nuclear bomb and the way that's all very, very important. But me personally, what I'm taking away from that film is the way you told the story is fucking awesome. And sometimes I do want to make stuff like that, and then other times I want to make a movie that's just the message, the core of it.
Yeah.
What it's trying to tell you is the important thing. And that's what I want my legacy to be within film. Someone who pushed the industry forward, but also pushed the world forward, pushed the agenda that he wanted to have. Those are the two main things I want to be remembered for. Getting into the idea of respect versus recognition, all that kind of stuff. I can't see a world where I'd be happy and unknown.
Right.
I want to be the Messi, man. I want to be the, I want people to know who I am. And obviously, a lot of people watching this might be like, oh, who the fuck are you? That's a fucking dickhead take. I'm not saying that I'm like amazing and I'm going to be the best. No, it's just everyone hopes to be the best, right? I hope to be the best, the same way that you probably hope to be the best in your field. And I just would be very proud of that. So
is that where it comes? Does it come from the wanting to be recognized from being the best, or is it from somewhere else?
It's more because, if I'm not recognized as the best, I'm not going to have as much of an impact as I could have if I am the best. You know what I mean? Like, I'm blanking on his name. I'm going to look him up right now. I'll talk about the other example first. Christopher Nolan makes these amazing, what's it called? Amazing films. My bad, yo. I'm going to look this up. Hold on. Give me 1 second now.
So, oh damn, I was gonna do the elevator music, but I forgot we actually got we got cooked from doing that one day.
So
it's like 2 seconds. They're so stingy. Over here, go check out our Patreon. Go look at our other episodes. We're back.
Park Chan-wook, Korean director.
I got scared.
He made why?
I just the word Chan.
Park Chan-wook.
Chris Chan.
I'm not pronouncing that at all correct. He makes like these really, really interesting films. The most recent one is No Other Choice.
Okay.
Right? No Other Choice. Super great messaging behind it. It's kind of like anti-capitalist, the mundanity of life and how it drives certain people like off their fucking rocker, right? Kind of like Fight Club, if you've ever seen Fight Club, if you've ever understood Fight Club. And
big difference.
Basically, what I'm trying to say with that is he's not super duper recognized by certain people because he's Korean. He makes his films in Korean, and a lot of people are not willing to sit down and watch subtitles. And that to me is really upsetting because his messages are so good. Now, imagine more people sat down and watched his films. That's why I do want to be recognized, because if I'm not recognized, my films aren't going to have the impact. No Other Choice didn't get nominated at the Oscars, which absolute fucking robbery. Easily one of the 3 best films of the year. By the way, Sinners, No Other Choice,
Marty,
One Battle After Another, Marty. They're tied.
Okay.
That's Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
It's just that the message of One Battle After Another to me is much more important than Marty's career.
Okay.
It's a great fucking film. Especially in the world we live in today. And same thing with No Other Choice. These films are so important, and a lot of people did not watch No Other Choice, but they did watch One Battle After Another. Similar messaging. I do think No Other Choice is a better film, and yet not nominated for a single Oscar because the fact that it is in Korean is holding it back. And I know a lot of you will say, what about Parasite? Parasite's like literally the biggest Korean film of all time. Obviously, Parasite was going to get nominated, and Parasite was better than No Other Choice. Parasite was It's like one of the best films of the decade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Parasite was fucking phenomenal. Obviously, it was gonna get all the praise that it got, but outside of like a movie of that level, a lot of these movies don't get recognition just because they're not as big. I want to be that big so I can tell people what I want them to hear, so people can see the message I'm trying to push. So if BoJack wasn't as big as it was, maybe more people wouldn't be talking about the whole monologue from Futura. People wouldn't be talking about the way it tells the story. People wouldn't be talking about the messages it pushed about anti-misogynist and the way that they let men get away with it, basically murder when they're famous and rich. People wouldn't be talking about this stuff if they weren't as big. So I want to be that big so I can push these messages, push these ideas.
Right.
So I'll let you get into yours.
I think I think maybe not inherently, but at least how I see it, our lines of work carry different weight. You know what I mean? Like in different ways, I mean. Cuz how I see it, fashion, and I'm going to get into fashion and music just because I have different views on them. So I kind of want to give just the opinions on both. But fashion, obviously, that's the thing. Um, it's harder to get a story across, not to
What do
tell
you
a
mean?
story, but to get a story across because it's harder to show an emotion through fabric, a an object, something that isn't even sentient, versus you have someone on a screen, a human like you, living these things. Doesn't even have to be human. Bojack is a horse, but he speaks English. He's close enough, but it doesn't even have to be a human. Could be some animal that doesn't even speak. You know what I mean? You relate more to the lion cub playing with its father or with its other cub siblings than a very exaggerated coat. You know what I mean? Or a very like I guess the best example is a bright red dress or a bright red coat, right? Like for example in China, right? You like
I mean,
if
Bad
they
Bunny's
if
Super Bowl is like a really good example of that.
yeah, you
The
it,
clothes he wore was like very important.
if you see uh bring any American, like any basketball player, any tall American, and you put them in a bright red or like a model, supermodel, and you put them in their tall, right? Because a lot of models are tall, and you put them like in a bright red dress in China, they're gonna feel something. You know what I mean? And I say China specifically because it's not common over there, right? I mean, the Chinese people don't look anything like these, like for example, tall Russian ladies and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's harder to have that versus if you have someone on a screen crying or just flat out saying things. You know what I mean? So I feel like inherently it's harder to get a story across. Not necessarily to tell one though, because I feel like that at least just depends on the person. Like I feel like I can tell a story fairly easily through designing and the visual arts in general. But getting it across is harder. So I feel like that has a big influence on how I see it. Also, and by it I'm gonna elaborate. By it I mean how I want to go about putting my work out there, how I want to frame my work, who I want to get my work to, and really the story that I want to tell with it, which I'm gonna get to in a second. I feel like also where the love for fashion comes from. I feel like that is where I'm fairly similar to you, because with you, you were like you want to do all these things.
Yeah,
You want to get emotion across. You want to push the
the
scene
format.
forward.
Yeah,
You want to play around with different things. You want to be someone who changes things. You know what I mean?
mm.
All fronts.
Yeah.
That I agree with. Because well, when you look at that, what are you looking at? Well, you have to be skilled and you have to be knowledgeable of your field, right? Specifically, if you're an author, you have to be familiar with the literary elements and just general grammar and language. If you're a painter, you have to be familiar with color theory, line, right? All these things, form, shape. So I feel like that is something that I really like that you brought up because that's something that like is kind of on the you don't hear people talk about as much because it's not as deep, right? It's kind of like when a rapper throws out a mixtape just to show their how they can flow over different beats and their pen, right? Versus when J.
It's
Cole
so
gets in
good.
and tells a story, right? That's the difference.
But you want an artist that I want to be an artist that does both. I
That
mean,
does everything
you want to
exactly.
be an artist that does
Yeah,
both
yeah,
too. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So I feel like that is definitely where we're like, but with fashion specifically, yeah. I want to do everything, man. Like I want to be able because that's where the fun originally came from. And again, I don't remember. Me and Tomas talked about this, but I don't remember what day it was. But whenever I realized it was sometime sophomore year, I think. when I was like, this is what I want to do. And it started off since, like we were younger, like we're teenagers, so yeah, we're like changing and stuff, but nothing super insane yet. Or
I
like super mature
I
just
also
yet.
think that like we're at the age where we're starting to really cement our beliefs,
Yeah, and
who we are as
understand
people.
things.
Like I also that's why it's good that you and me waited. We're waiting to really put stuff out there
Yeah,
until we are who we are. You know what I mean?
exactly. Because originally I was in that mixtape mode. Like I was going and drawing things and thinking of different things. And for fashion specifically, right? Every medium has their own thing. But with fashion, what am I playing with? I'm playing with silhouette. I'm playing with, which is why I studied painting specifically, because I'm playing with the visual arts,
Yeah,
right?
silhouette,
Before
color.
anything,
Yeah,
right? So I'm playing. I learned line. I learned shape. You know what I mean? You have to know what a contour line. You got to know what balance looks like, and uneven balance, and all these type of things, right? So that's what I was learning, right? And that's what I studied first, because you got to understand your medium if you want to be, legendary at
yeah.
it.
Which we both want to be.
Exactly, right? We both want to be legendary.
You at home too also want to be legendary. Everyone wants to
Yeah,
be
but
legendary.
everybody wants that shining light behind their head. You know what I mean? When they come on the screen. Uh, so that's definitely where I started. I was like, yo, I want to show my skill. Like I was hungry and I'm still hungry. And you're hungry and you're thinking, how can I get that angle? How did they shoot this? How did he move? How was it scripted? I'm thinking, yo, what materials did they use? How did he make that sit like that? How did he make that shadow bring that much more like vibrance to that pair of whatever,
Mm.
right? So that's one half, right? And how I see that on the grander scale is, and this I'm not gonna, this might be a weak like, or like not weak but anticlimactic like statement, but I just want to do what I'm gonna do, because how I see fashion personally, right? When it comes to that stuff, I have never I feel like that specifically, especially, building on that when I was so confident, and I still am, but when I was building my confidence and when I understood what confidence was, I have never, ever, ever doubted my ability in any of that stuff.
Okay.
Like that's something, and it may sound arrogant, right? But you kind of have to be a little delusional with that. That's something that I've never worried about ever, right?
Your
Like,
ability?
no, yeah. Never worried about that. I think like the shit that I make, I think is gonna be fucking sick, because that's step one. You have to believe in your product.
If you don't believe in your product,
Who will?
no.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely one half of the coin for fashion. Um, I just want to make cool shit. I want to make I want to be a craftsman. I want to be known as a craftsman. You know what I mean? I want to be known to have a vision. Now, where it gets deeper is I formed this idea of intentionality, and as a person, day to day life, right? I built this ideology that if you're not intentional with things, what does it even matter? You know what I mean? So that's where everything started. That's where the meeting started, right? Because the skill is one thing. I've got the skill. I'm comfortable around like as an artist would say, with my pen. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable with clothing. But when you look at what you want to do with it, when you have that skill and that confidence and that drive, what do you want to do with it? I want to push the idea of intentionality. I think every single thing, if people just cared and gave a little more thought and had a little more patience to step back and be like, yo, why am I doing this, or why is this happening, or how can I bounce back from this? And what can I gain? What can I learn from this specifically? I think the world would be a better place. Period. And I think through my art, exclaiming with everything that this is for a certain way. This flows in this way because I wanted it. Nothing is a happy accident. Nothing's ever gonna be
Bob
a happy
Ross.
accident. You know what I mean? And I respect happy accidents.
Shout out Bob Ross.
Yeah, shout out Bob Ross. Like I've been drawing sometimes, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I expected that to come out as, but I liked it. You know what I mean? But you have to believe that there's a level of intentionality in your day to day life with everything,
Yeah.
right? With the people that you interact with what they say, and you have no control over what they say. But I live my life being like, yo, like maybe I don't know why it happened, but it happened, and if not happening for a reason by some greater entity, it happened for a reason because now I have to react to that. And that, if that's the only reason, then so be it. I'm good with that, because
Okay.
that's what's gonna push me to the next step, the next minute in my life, the next day in my life. You know what I mean? So That was definitely the first thing, was intentionality, and that's gonna stick with me forever. I hate hate when things are present and they don't serve a purpose. Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't spend money on a fridge. Like, okay, let's say you have a fridge, right? Or a door. You're not gonna have two handles on it on either side.
I feel
The
like
hinges are on one side.
I feel like a good example is just look at the screen right now, right? Everything that we've put on here has some kind of meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's I made this and I made this up here. We focus on Freddie Gibbs. We focus on Tyler. Derrick made this, or fans of all the people over there. I can't reach, so I can't point individually. But we
Yeah.
focus
All
all the
these dudes
people
right
over
here.
there. I focus on Bad Son, so there's meaning here. There's meaning everywhere, from the clothes that we wear to the stuff that we draw on the whiteboard, the books that we got on the bookshelf. The mask is like
Yeah.
that's my stuff. You know what I mean? I literally go by Tengu on all my platforms, on all
Yeah.
my
We're not
So
brainless about anything.
what's up?
We're not brainless about
We're not
anything.
yet.
Yeah, we're involved.
Everything is intentional, and I think everything in your art should always be intentional. I'm
Yeah.
100% with you on that.
Yeah, like I always chalk it up to like, why are you gonna have a door handle on both sides? You know what I mean? There's hinges on one side. It doesn't serve any purpose. Why is it being? And then if some people are like, well, maybe it doesn't take away from it, but like it's not adding anything. So for me, it's taking
You're
away.
wasting resources.
Yeah, you know what I mean. At the very base, like cognitive level, you're wasting resources. That's already a negative. So
Resources and time.
that's definitely and time. Yeah, that's the one thing you can't get back. So that's definitely where everything
You
started.
know about wasting time, bro.
Um,
How much you've been recently like
bro,
locked in with your time, and how
bro,
much little,
fucking
this
bullshit,
dude's
bro.
always busy, bro.
Bullshit, bro. But today specifically, oh my
Today,
god, that was fucking
specifically,
AIDS, bro. But
specifically,
after that, right?
specifically. Hold on,
Um,
radio.
I was gonna say specifically again, going into college, I went and studied some more, and I learned even more, and then that's where you start getting what where it comes from, why you care about it, right? So the that's just the first half. The second half, so think about it this way. That's the first half is how I approach making stuff. Right? So that's how I approach making stuff. Now, when I want something to mean something, that's the whole another side of things. Everything that I make is gonna be backed by some sort of emotion, right? And that's just
Yeah,
art in general, right? And I'm fairly general about it because
I mean,
it can
all
be
your ideas are
yeah, yeah,
everything in your
yeah,
life is
yeah,
based on some
innately,
kind of
innately.
reaction. Every reaction is based on emotion. Yeah,
Yeah, innately. And so like that is something that I don't have a super deep way of putting it because it really is just that. Something from like as simple as someone saying something and you didn't like it and you sat and pondered it and were like, yo, that wasn't cool. I didn't like that. To something as deep as you lost somebody you're experiencing something new with somebody that you've known your whole life and you don't know how to feel about it. You know what I mean? Or thinking backwards and introspections, like all those things. I want to cover everything, and where that comes from is life. Like I really enjoy when artists, and Tyler does this phenomenally, when you look at art that they've done and it's a snapshot of what they've got going on. You know
yeah.
what I
The
mean?
eras,
J Cole with the fall off, like it's a snapshot of who he was then, and
the different
that's
eras of different artists.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's something that I am
yeah.
excited
Music
to.
especially.
That's something I'm really excited to pursue and have happen. And how I see that right there is one of the main things that I want to push. Because like I said earlier, Virgil Abloh, it was the first like God to me. Right now I've got a few, but he was the first God to me. And I went and I watched his interviews and I saw him up on that podium and talking and all his stuff. And he was like the first like rendition of genuine that I ever experienced, aside from people you know, right?
Yeah,
But like this guy, I
first
had
artist you
yeah,
saw.
yeah, and I mean I've never met this guy. I've never been, never will be a parasocial human being, but you can kind of tell sometimes almost if you trust your instinct and your gut. Like and everyone's good and bad, but in my vision of this guy, right, this God, it's like I never questioned him. And I saw him going to the younger generation and putting them on game and explaining to them. And he didn't question anything about himself. He was confident and he was quiet. And when he spoke, you listened. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be quiet or have that mystique to me. Who knows, right? I'm my own person, but I do want to go and make the make the younger generation feel how I felt when I looked at Virgil Abloh. I want to inspire people, and I want to like tell them like go make whatever you're gonna make. Like I loved when
Yeah.
he was like, "Yo, if my clothes is too expensive for you, then it's not meant for you." You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? There's a point to everything. So I think being so influenced, I want to have a big influence. And when we look at fame and my name being out there, I think that not even I think that is the only reason. If it wasn't for that reason, I would be completely fine being someone who just made art and impacted the people that I impacted and was a nobody. But because of the fact that I want to push, like you said, right, messages, and I want to push like
Kind of exactly what I
people
said too.
further, you know what I mean? Um,
We both want to be recognized for the same reason.
yeah, because how I see it is like pushing the industry forward, and I'm gonna show some love because really like I feel like the fashion industry even now has just been so like filled with talent, man. Like so filled to the brim with talent, bro, that I have no worry. Just like I said, I have no worry being one of those big dogs and like being like, yo, I'm like stable and people are gonna like what I like. I also have no worry that people are gonna ridicule me or people are gonna say, yo, you're not cool or you're not welcome. You know what I mean? And I feel like I have that comfortability because I'm comfortable even again, right? And it's kind of crazy a crazy concept to think about. I haven't put much thought to it. But within the fashion industry and the art of fashion, right, as a medium and as a world,
Yeah.
I don't know Saint, like I didn't know Saint Laurent when he was here, you know what I mean? I didn't know Dior when he was here. I don't know any of these people. I don't know Pharrell personally, you know what I mean? But I feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I feel comfortable. It's a really accepting industry. You know what I mean for the most part. So that's something that I've never really worried about. I think when I put my stuff out there, the quality and the visuals and all of that, like the craftsmanship, isn't going to be questioned. And I think I'm gonna hang with the big dogs, and I'm gonna love their stuff, and they're gonna love my stuff, and that's gonna be all great. I think the difference is gonna be what am I pushing and why I have these like opinions of it is because I feel like with fashion specifically because of that everyone's really in their own lane and everyone likes everybody, everyone respects everyone.
But so you're saying when you talk about like wanting to be big so you can push your messages and stuff, you're specifically talking about like, it's late, y'all. Specifically talking about how not within the industry but outside of the industry, like on a bigger scale impact.
I
You
feel
need
like
to be
okay,
known.
okay, wait, that's a really good question. I feel like my craftsmanship, I want to be really respected within the industry, and then my voice and what I'm trying to get across,
That's
I want to
everywhere.
be everywhere. Yeah, so like like for the music artist and wherever, or the person who wants to write books, or the next the next Dior, you know what I mean, the next whoever it is going to be. I want to be I mean, my only example really is Virgil Abloh. To be honest, I can't really compare him to anybody else because no one else has had the influence that Virgil Abloh has in that way on me. Right, I've been influenced by other people, Pharrell and Tyler and all these guys. Right, yeah, but Virgil Abloh is the only guy that I can really say had that specific influence. So I can only compare it to him because that's really all I know.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be like that. But yeah, within I want to be respected. Within like the people that like go in and they're like on grailed and like, yo, this jacket is just like work of art, beautifully crafted, and just the vision was just impeccable, and the execution was impeccable. I want to be like, I want people to react that way to my art, my work. You know what I mean? Me as a person, and kind of not necessarily separated, but the bigger vision, I want to be like helping people out and pushing positivity and pushing intentionality and pushing like do what you want to do, be a good person. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, none of this matters if you're not a good person, right? It
But like
goes
we said earlier,
unsaid.
you're gonna lose all
Yeah,
your
like it goes unsaid, but you do have to bring it up. Not only me being a good person, but like be a good person.
in
Not only
general.
for yourself, but for your people first. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. Now I will say, kind of little mini subsect, because it comes from a different place, right? With music, I'm not saying that I don't have intentions of being as big as I am in fashion and music, right? Who even knows if I'm going to do music? I would like to. It'd be cool, right? But that's still brewing. What I will say is the passion from that came from a completely different place. I had some things going on, and music helped me out. And I thought I was like, what if I was a part, because again, I don't really care to be the name, right? But what if I was a part of this for somebody else? That's kind of where that comes from. It's like Kendrick
And you
Lamar,
don't think you
like
could do that with clothes?
no, I think I absolutely could. That's not where it came from originally, though.
All right.
Like
Came from
I wasn't in
music.
high school being like I want to change lives with my clothes.
You want to do it with music.
I wasn't even thinking that either because this is more recent in college that this happened.
Oh.
So in high school, I was like, I want to do clothes and I want to change my life with clothes. And I, as a human, want to go and influence people, right? So it's like clothes is part of me, but me, I want to speak. I want my voice to be
Yeah.
the one that's speaking and being like, yo, go do what you want to do and be happy and be a good person. And the clothes is going to speak for themselves. With music, it was one of those things where it's like, I don't have to be mentioned. I don't have to be the name. Um, all it really
It's just
was
the pieces. The pieces.
all it really was like I like making art. This was great to me. I love music. What if I was a part of a body of work, even if it's just one song on one project off of someone's whole discography, that maybe made someone's day better or made someone think about something a certain way that led to them being a better person. You know what I mean? And then I tried it out and I was like, oh, I actually enjoy the act of doing it because you have to enjoy the act of doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Like I like doing this.
yeah, like as far as like an artist goes, like I could love storytelling, but if I don't like making movies, like being on set,
You're not gonna
I'm not
make
gonna be a director.
movies.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I love doing this. I'm sitting in front of the camera, then I'm sitting down editing. And then,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I love
So
telling people what to do, where to go.
you gotta like doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to like that. That's like you gotta love your job. You gotta like doing your job.
Especially if you're an artist. When you're an artist, you're literally picking your job.
Yeah,
Like,
you're literally So you have to like doing it, and it just so happened that I do enjoy it. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. You know what I mean? So that I wanted to add that in because that's part of how I look at art, but it's a completely
I also have
different
another question right
spot.
here. So when it comes to your legacy, right? You've already said you need to be remembered or you need to be bigger because you want people to see the messages you push,
Yeah.
right? And the only people will see the messages you push is if you are bigger, right? So and respect is a given.
Right.
Respect, everyone wants
Yeah.
to be respected. It doesn't matter who. Some people care about it less, but everyone wants it.
Yeah.
So what's the balance there? You want to be mainstream? You want to be the most respected? You want to be the most mainstream? Which one? If you had to sacrifice one a little bit.
If I had to sacrifice
I,
one a little
I think I
bit,
know what you're gonna say, but
it'd be my name.
yeah. But
It'd be my
like, but
name.
like, how much are you willing to or do you want to be mainstream? Truly mainstream. Like you got someone like Kitsuber isn't mainstream, but he's massive.
The thing is, because when I look at this, I also balance lifestyle, right? So like with other things that I might want to do, like it'd be cool to be a record label exec one day, right? Like the bucket list, I don't know what life is holding for me just yet, right? So I would definitely being mainstream would be amazing. I like when you say mainstream, you mean like in malls across the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people know who everyone knows who you are.
You asked Derrick in high school, he would have said yeah.
Now you're more like
Now
you don't have to
I'm
answer.
iffy.
You don't
I'm
have to
iffy.
answer. You have
I'm
you have
not
a whole
I'm not sure.
lifetime to answer. You know what I mean? We're probably gonna come up at some point in the pod.
Yeah, but if I had to sacrifice one or the other, it would be the name for sure. It would be the name. Do I want to have malls all across the world and have all
But
that?
live with this.
Probably not. And I'll say this. I'll say this. Probably not. Partially also because I never want to be a corporation.
Okay,
I'll say
yeah,
that.
I was
And
about to say,
it's
'cause,
hard to
malls,
do without
I thought you were about to say like malls are shitty. Malls don't have to be shitty clothes.
No, I get it.
the
Or
international-
even just having my stores
the game.
on their own.
The International Mall has a Burberry,
No, I know.
and the Burberry is like everything's like $1,000 at least.
No, yeah, I know.
and
But
it's
I'm
really
just
good.
saying as far as like volume. You know what I mean?
You don't want to be a corporation. That's not possible if you're in everywhere.
Yeah,
That's fair enough.
And I'm not the type to say it's not possible, but it would be really difficult. And I'll put it this way: it's not worth it,
Okay.
in my opinion. It's definitely not worth it. I would rather have a store here, a store there, a store there, where I know I can make an influence. I know I can make a difference. I know these places could use these stores, and I know kids, adults, and whoever of the like
I'm guessing
could
like
could
your
could work
Tampa.
with that.
No.
Like Tampa would
Puerto
be dope.
Rico.
You know what I
want someone in
mean?
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Right, New York, place that you actually like resonate with and fuck
Yeah,
with.
because how I see art, man, is
Yeah.
like it's just like anything in the world. It's right time, right place. And if I spread myself too thin and I have stores everywhere and I force myself on everyone, you know what I mean? Where I'm kind of like always in the vision, even if I'm
You're
not
gonna
their
end
focal
up
point.
becoming a corporation.
If
Yeah.
it not even becoming a corporation because that's under my control,
Yeah.
but it's almost gonna water me down. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
That's
almost gonna
why
water
people
it
become.
down.
That's why brands become corporations because they're just spread too thin. At this point, better to just sell so I can get the
Yeah.
resources to
But just
be
keeping
like
the vision
everywhere.
pure,
You know,
it's like that's something that I worry so
it's
much
so
about.
interesting
I
to
want to
talk
keep the
about
vision
this.
so pure
It's
that
so
it's
interesting.
it's almost impossible to do without that.
It's so interesting to talk about this because it's like that's something that I never have to worry about. But that's something
Right.
you genuinely do have to worry about.
Yeah.
So we get a very interesting perspective from both of us.
Yeah. That that's
I don't
definitely.
know if I picked that up.
I thought no, it didn't. It definitely didn't. But I thought that was the couch. I was like, oh shit. But that's something that I definitely think about. And also to be completely fair, I'm much too lazy to have to deal with all that.
Yeah.
Like having 500, like 100, 200, 500 stores across the globe is
Imagine you
hard.
get to fly out to all of them. It's like
It's hard,
damn.
bro. Like you know what I mean. And then you have to worry about certain things. So no, I'd rather like I said, time and place. And I personally right now listen to a lot of artists that and I say music because it's just the art medium that I consume the most of
Yeah.
on a daily basis, and I go out of my way to consume the most of.
Clothes is expensive, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But
And paintings are also very expensive, so it kind of sucks. So I go out of my way to listen to that a whole lot, and I'm picky, and I like building a. I was gonna say an aesthetic or mood board, but I guess that's the best example I could give, right? I like building my own little world. You know what I mean?
and,
It's like
and
it's
you
like
want it to be
it's
like
like this is
that
part of me,
with your
and this is
art.
part of me. Yeah, yeah,
I just
yeah.
build little
yeah,
corners, I
like
got this thing going on right here, I
yeah.
got this thing, and that's not
and,
really
and I
possible.
think about those things.
When
You
you
know what I
spread
mean?
it that far across the whole
It's
world
not.
ever, it's
It's
like
not.
you
It's
can't
not.
like in China, you got your own little thing going on in China, and then you have a whole little thing going on.
Yeah,
It's like too much, man.
It's like I want to keep the vision so pure, and I want to keep it so intentional. I'm also just like
Oh man.
I would call myself a perfectionist, but I'm just gonna use the term meticulous. You know what I mean? But really, what I mean is like if something isn't to how I need it's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen ever. So I mean that's the best view I can give on both sides of my brain. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you look at. I mean I don't know if you feel this way, but when I'm shopping for clothes, I have two sides of my brain. There's the designer brain, and then there's the stylist brain.
Because I'm not a designer.
Yeah, so like how I see when I go clothes shopping, it's a fucking pain because one half of my brain is like this is because I'm not gonna lie, I care about this so much. I won't buy from certain brands
Oh yeah,
because of the brand. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah,
like that's just
yeah.
like a little example, but like it goes way farther than that.
I get that. Like there's certain brands where it's like I don't agree with the messaging behind the brand. I don't want to buy from you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like my stylist brain kind of puts that like down and is like, what does this look like? What how would it fit in your closet? Could you use it? Is it good?
Yeah.
And the designer side of my brain is like on its high horse and it's like the critic and it's like, no, this would not change my life. This is not worth it. You know what I mean? So it's
This sucks.
it's like the Ratatouille scene. You know what I mean? Where it's like the guy's like sitting there and he's like, that's one side of my brain, and the other side of my brain is like the rat that's just like,
I just love cooking.
You take the grape and then you take the cheese, and it just tastes great.
So he just loves everything.
Yeah, but the quality isn't amazing.
You don't want that loves everything. You want that like no,
Yeah,
I only love the elite things.
So that's how that's how I go shopping in my brain. But that's definitely how I see it, and I treat a lot of things that way.
Do you think that's
how I see it.
So encompassing everything, right?
Right.
What do you want to leave off with a message for yourself? What do you want your legacy to be?
Un segundo.
All right, getting into back into what we were doing. Derrick had an important phone call to take. So, wrapping up. I think you already finished up with your legacy, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff.
I think we both got good stuff in the works.
We're sitting here, man. Who knows
this is what
who knows what we're gonna blossom into?
We're talking about good stuff in the far future. Let's get into some good stuff right now. The Don't Blend In brand and
Yes.
what we want it to become. We already talked about an intro. We don't want it to just be a podcast. The podcast is a show within the brand. You know what I mean? We want this to be bigger than just a podcast.
Yeah,
so
100%.
We're talking about doing all this stuff on Patreon, all these different kinds of shows, and putting out all this. We might put out clothes for the brand. We might put out short films for the brand.
Yeah.
All this kind of crazy shit. And I want this to be, and I think you agree with me on this. I want this to be like a journey. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I want people to see the stuff that you and me make on our own and they can go back and see the stuff we made together, and they could see they could see that in this brand. I want this brand to be instead of just being like its own thing, I want it to be known as a cooperative thing.
Okay.
You know, instead of some other like podcasts or brands like that where they're known as like it's like this thing and it's got its own stuff going on. I want it to be known as a cooperative brand between two people before anything else, and one that can unite both the worlds that we're from. You know what I mean? Like a lot of your fans, your clothes fans, and all that stuff you're gonna have in the future can come watch this. A lot of films people who are gonna watch my shit can then come here and watch it and unite both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Creating a good bridge for, people who like film can maybe get into clothes and hip hop. People who like clothes and hip hop can get more into film and television and storytelling. You know what I mean?
How I see it is kind of like
Also to put other smaller artists on.
yeah. How I see it is almost like it's like a mix of two things. There's like in one part, it's like a creative agency, but not as broad, right?
Yeah.
Because we still have our own lanes that we enjoy. And then on the other side, which is like the more fun part, and like what I like, what really like, brings us here is like the fact that like we're just two like creative hive minds. Like we're titans in what we do, right? Even if like we don't have the numbers yet. And,
right
and
now,
people,
people hear that right now and they're like, oh, this fucking guy.
But we are
in the future.
Yeah.
Y'all see.
So we're definitely two creative fucking like titans, just balls of like energy. You know what I mean? And just us coming together to make shit. Because also I'm like we also just think similarly in certain things. Like we don't disagree all that often. You know what I mean? Which I think we actually mentioned that like in one of our earlier episodes. Like we disagree on things.
We need someone who sits here. We need to bring the idiots on the show. We need a third host who's just fucking stupid. And they can just throw out some takes. We'd be like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, because guys, if y'all don't know, bro, like we talk a lot on here, which we do once a week. Well, more than once a week now. But like we also talk a lot like outside. Yeah. And we really don't disagree on all that much.
We play games together. It's usually
bro.
when it's like a thing, it's usually me and him arguing with someone else.
Yeah.
Because they're being fucking goober.
And it's like to me it's like we
I was trying to think of an insult. I could go with an insult.
I like goober. I almost said goober earlier in this episode.
I almost said jabroni. Actually, I'll keep going.
But that's one thing that's what makes everything so exciting because like we have the platform and I see it as that way. But also, dude, we're just like two like fucking knuckleheads, just like making shit, and like we also just have
evolution
different ways.
too about it, man.
Yeah.
Right now, you say we're Titans, and it's like, oh, these fucking guys. And like if we're still doing this 15 years down the line, people be like, oh, we're Titans. Yeah, y'all are Titans.
Yeah,
that's great.
We've been that way.
And then people can go back to these earlier episodes and be like, this is where it started.
Yeah.
So this is when you start to get fly.
I see it. I see it as just like also from a really wide lens is what I mean. Like I see it as I'm excited to come here and we talk about stuff, and this is gonna be something that is never gonna. I mean, unless everything gets deleted, how the fuck would that happen?
Yeah.
Right. But this is gonna be something that's gonna be irrefutable, and we're here, we're present, and we're doing stuff, and we're embracing what we want to embrace and what we love, and it's gonna lead into us just like just being fucking just making insane, crazy shit. And when I say things like that, what I imagine on the biggest scale is really you know the lights, Pennywise's lights.
Yeah.
How I see it is like really just like a light, to be honest, because how I feel is I really like can't predict the shit that we're gonna make, but I know together, dog.
And that's what this brand's all about.
And I leave it there.
That's what the brand's all about. It's a cooperative brand, and I want that to be known forever. It's about the journey, it's about the cooperation, and it's about the stuff we're going to put out together in the future. And also so people get an insight. You know what I mean? So this is also, I want this to be like a roadmap. Like you come here, if you're an artist yourself, you come here and you listen to this talk and you take something away from it, and it goes and it helps you do your own thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's also that's the whole point of this episode. So you can figure out what me and Derrick's legacy we want them to be, what other more established artists' legacies are, and then you can sit down and say, what do I want my legacy to be? Yeah. And I want to leave off posing that question to you. What do you want your legacy to be? Leave it in the comments. Let us know. DM us wherever you want to tell us. What do you want your legacy to be in your art? What do you want to make in the future? Where does your art come from? Talk to us.
Be human, man.
Be human, man.
And embrace being human, bro. Because I mean, going even further back, right? You got to be a good person, but you got to understand that we're all people, bro.
That's like we said at the very beginning. Every person's personal.
Yeah, we're all just people going through things, and y'all are gonna see that, bro. Y'all have already seen that, bro, with us being tired in an episode or
Yeah,
two,
and then like
and stuff going on, bro.
and when we're
We're
tired,
getting
it's
raped with school, like,
when
we've
we're
got
tired,
shit
it's
going
like,
on.
oh, we're tired because we're filming something else or we're doing something else. And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't see that with some artists. You don't see Drake talking about some. Yeah, man, I'm in the interview. I'm hella tired because I was just in the studio for like
yeah.
fucking
They don't
hours
put it all
on
out
end.
there. You know what I
But
mean?
that's the whole point of this, so we can put it all out there, and you can see when I make a film, we're gonna come out here and talk about it on that pod. When Derrick drops some clothes, we're gonna come out here wearing his clothes, talking about it on the pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's kind of what it's all about, and that's what again I want to leave y'all with that idea. Where do you want your legacy to be?
yeah.
Why don't drop in the comments? Give us an artist who you want your legacy to be similar to, and why.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Drop it in
Yeah,
the comments.
because
But
it's kind of hard to imagine things that you can't even
yeah,
comprehend yet.
so
You know what I
you
mean?
don't need to drop a whole fucking paragraph. Just not like
Yeah.
like one artist. Who do you want to be like? Like who do you want your legacy to be
Shit,
similar
unless
to?
you want to drop an essay,
If you want to drop
I'd
an
be
essay,
glad to
if you want
read.
to drop an essay telling us exactly what you want your legacy to be, no comparison.
That'd be insane.
That's awesome. I'll read that.
That'd be
But
fucking
since a lot of
insane.
people don't want to do that, let us know. Do you want to be remembered the way Michael Jackson is remembered, or do you want to be remembered the way Kanye West is remembered?
Yeah. No one fucking wants to be remembered like Ye.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right. I think it's a good place to leave off. We've been filming for a minute, and I'm hungry.
Yeah. I'm starving.
All right.
Sorry.
We love y'all. Stay safe out there. Go
Y'all
check out the
great
Patreon.
fucking day.
Go check out the Patreon. We're gonna have a lot of content, as you've heard, coming to the Patreon. And check out everything that we have coming out with the brand nowadays. It's not just podcasts anymore. Now this is just one show, one facet.
Yes.
And now check out all of our other stuff that we're gonna have coming out. Check out our socials. They're gonna announce everything and let you
Yep.
know when we're doing new
Always.
stuff. But yeah, peace out, y'all.
Peace.